Wild World. Hey, a real place.
This baby C-Mac.
Yeah, that was grungy.
I go move like that. Fuck with that door like.
What's some old bands that y'all like fuck with?
Old bands? I gotta come clean, nigga. I was on rap, like for the most part.
But, like, I know
So like,
some
I'm
people
gonna still give you. Yeah, I did. When I came across rock and I really started fucking with it, it was Guitar Hero 3, and then I would pick like certain songs like from there. So it was like, what was a good one? I would try to remember, like Cherry Pie.
Okay.
Like my
That's
ice
a good
cream,
one,
yeah,
though.
you know what I'm
That's a
saying?
super good
So I knew
one.
that
Yeah.
was fire
Yeah,
from
for
a
sure.
jit. So like
That's a
that was
super
hard. There was one other one, I forgot the name, but yeah, Guitar Hero. That's what really answered me. That maybe like Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Yeah.
There was definitely a couple songs from
Tony
there.
Hawk had the bangers.
Had the
though.
bangers.
Like, yeah, I mean, like there are even songs like to this day, like me being a skateboarder. It's like, bro, like there are songs that are from that, or like that the culture taught me that I probably wouldn't have known if it wasn't
100%.
for that.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Right.
like for those video games and for like, I mean, I guess just different ethnicities of friends. You know what I mean? Like having so many different friends and like, I guess like my parents too. Like my mom, one of my mom's favorite artists is Bjork.
Yeah.
Which is random as fuck.
Yeah.
And then like, I remember my dad loving Goldie, who dated Bjork. who's a
Goldie's
DJ.
one of the
Have you
coolest
listened
niggas
to-
of all time.
Have you listened to?
No,
Goldie
I
before?
haven't.
Bro, Goldie is
that an
dude.
old school cat? Like,
I thought he was a DJ though.
He's a DJ. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a DJ. He's fire.
But he
peep
dated
him.
Bjork.
Yeah, he dated
Okay.
Bjork, but like Gold Grill, like black dude, like he's
Oh,
light
tough.
skinned dude.
He's
and
in the
he
movie
is-
Snatch.
Bro, he's
Okay.
fire. Goldie is still fire to this day. Like,
damn,
to
I
this
might have
day.
came across bro then
Goldie
because
is
like,
legendary.
Nah, you could post pics of like while we
Of
talking
Goldie?
about it. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
one of the
what is he doing now? He's still like,
He still
just
DJs
kind of
and
posted
shit.
up, just
Yeah.
being
Doing his
himself.
thing, yeah, he's well respected in the industry. Like he was almost like a Luca before Luca, to be honest.
Yeah,
like, you
no,
know,
for
where
real.
He kind of
For
came
real, for
up
real.
on like he came up under the Stussy scene actually
Yep.
in London, and then like
Stussy International Tribe.
and then
for
he
real.
started dating Bjork. He kind of just started becoming like infamous for being infamous.
Okay. When did you guys, or I'll start with you, Kelly. When did you start getting into like rock and just different kind of music?
It wasn't until later either. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it wasn't until like I started getting into skateboarding, and that's actually a lot of the same commonalities we have. Like,
Yep.
I've been listening to like Cheap Trick a lot lately, and like the one thing I remember, this one Cheap Trick album, like a bunch of them
Yeah.
songs was on skate, like the first thing, so it's nostalgic. The Cure, they had like a bunch of like a bunch of songs that was like in skate videos and shit like that. Like,
Which is that's funny that he mentions that because that's like my favorite band of all time.
yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, Boys Don't Cry, like that song specifically.
Yep.
is
Exactly.
like that's my favorite song
Yeah.
from.
Is that how you
All
got
time.
introduced to like rock music and shit too, just from straight skating?
No, well, yeah, I guess so. Like, yeah, from skating, and then I guess like mainly, I guess so. Mainly from skating, and then it was like I always like when I was younger, it would be one of those things where it was like I guess I was always around like rap. You know what I mean? So like it was one of those things where it was like I guess for myself when I was younger, it would be one of those things where I like got kind of sick of rap, like
Right.
to a point, like it was like, oh, okay, I've kind of like outdone it with this. So I was like, okay, what's another genre? What's like, and then what are my cousins listening to, or like whatever, and it'd be like, oh, okay, like one of my other cousins, his favorite band is The Cure as well. So
Okay.
like, you know what I mean? So it was like one of those things. And then
So
I
you had
found
cousins
that
to
one
put you on
song.
as well too.
Yeah, definitely, for sure, yeah. It was like that as well, and then like, but mainly skateboarding, man. Like mainly
Yeah.
skateboarding. It's like you meet so many different ethnicities within like, I guess they call it like the last subculture, essentially, where it's like you meet every other subculture within one culture because it's like you have to do it to be involved, rather than I guess when people follow other sports versus like, and I guess that's what makes it a sport versus a lifestyle, because I guess with skateboarding it's like you have to really be involved to like know what's going on.
Right.
Where like say you follow football and it's like, okay, you're a football fan, but it's like you don't necessarily have to play because it's like you have a referee who's gonna call the shots and this and that or whatever.
You could be a
Where,
bystander and still know everything
exactly
what's
where,
going on
like,
the
okay,
field.
Say you watch a skate video right now, right?
Right.
You're not gonna know if that's a tray flip, nollie backside flip, tray,
Right.
like, you know what I'm saying, hard flip. You're not gonna know unless somebody's like, hey, Albert, by the way, that this is this or this is that, and then that's how you get involved.
That makes total sense. I don't even know any other like kind of genres that like is kind of like that. I'm sure if I really sat back and like thought,
There are probably so many more than we think.
right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Probably like figure skating and shit like that. Like, you know, but it's skating nonetheless.
perfect.
Like,
Yeah,
Right.
perfect.
No, but that's a good
yeah.
one though.
They
Like,
base you off of performance besides points. But I
right.
guess you get points based off performance. So,
What for skating?
like anything like gymnastics and shit like that.
Yeah.
'Cause you're
But
involving
that-
your whole body instead of like a team. You feel me?
Yeah. No, that is true though. Like you really have to be you have to actually actively be skating to really know what the fuck is going on with the culture. Not like, I mean, I feel like even clothes and shit, like you can be a bystander on the sideline and for the most part, you can be on the Rick Discord knowing fucking every single thing about Rick Owens, and the nigga who really be spending his bread probably only knows like a certain percentage of something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
I
that's
mean,
like,
we was talking about this earlier, bro. Skateboarding was like the first time in our lives where we actually didn't feel like so weird for liking the shit that we like. Like I said, like when I first went to a skate park, I said the word I used was like solace, cause like, you know, of course you grown up niggas not used, you know, and like we're around the same age, so like we was kind of, you know, into the same shit at the same time. And
yeah.
it was one of them things where it was kind of just like, you know, you was looked at like a weirdo for kind of just liking shit that's like popular now.
Yeah.
And it
There was
wasn't
a lot of hate back then
yeah,
based on that too.
just
like,
going to school, going
rather
to
than-
school and shit.
mhm.
But you go to a skate park and like everybody's just chill, you know, whether they like the style or dress like that or not. Everyone's kind of just like, you know, just cool with everything, like super accepting and, you know.
See, I think actually, like now that you bring that up, I think that's where like it turned me off to skateboard. Not to say like I was turned off, like I wasn't fucking with it, but there was a period of my life where I was like young. I would say like 3rd, 4th grade, and I'm seeing like all this skateboarding shit like via my big brother, and I think like I don't know, just period. Like it was kind of just popping, and we had the games and shit. And I remember buying a skateboard and like purposely like fucking it up, like getting a screwdriver and fucking it up just to act like I'm grinding and shit, and like so I can show my friends around the corner. But I was definitely like outside, like goddamn trying to like kick flip off shit and like do other certain shit. But then it came to a point where like, all right, to step it up, I need to go to like a skate park. So I went to like my local skate park, and honestly, it was all white kids. And I think that's what kind of fucked me up, because I was like, damn, I was really just by myself. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't even really know what to fuck do. So I was like, fuck this nigga. I ain't like,
Yeah, for real, bro.
I believe it.
You might have been like the coolest person if you would have just stuck with it. I know it's like one of those things though, for sure, where it was like I was explaining to KHALID earlier that it was just like, for myself, it was like, bro, I started off like collecting sneakers, and then it was like from collecting sneakers, it was like the dude at the skate shop, because like SBs and shit like that were super popular back then, and it was really interesting because he's like, yo, I'm gonna get you a board. And I was like, what? Yeah.
This is way before you even
I still
skated?
know this man to this day. Yeah, Debo, shout out to him. He was like, yeah, man. Like, he was like, yo, I'm gonna buy you your first board. I'm gonna get you a board.
tough.
And I was just like, what? And so like, thought he was capping, bro. Literally, like I was just like, this man ain't about to buy me a whole skateboard, like
Yeah.
whatever. And so I got a skateboard, and he bought it for me. And so it was one of those things where, like, I was like, damn. And this was a white dude. This was an older white dude.
Man, shout out Debo.
Yeah, shout out to Debo, man.
Yeah.
Debo is still the
That's a
realest.
hard-ass
He,
name for a white dude,
Debo,
too.
hey,
Big
that's
Debo.
his real name. That's
Yeah,
the craziest
that's
part,
hard.
Debo. For real. And he's big, like, actual Debo from the movie.
Big
Friday,
brawly
too.
motherfucker.
Yeah, for real. And that, bro, yeah, Debo is Debo, bro. Like, redhead, giant. But anyway, yeah, shout out to Debo. But he bought me my board, my first board. And he was just like, yo, he was like, you buy all these shoes, like this and that. He's like, let's get you a board, man. And then, like, one of the homies I had grown up across the street from, Cody, who I'm still friends with to this day, Cody had already skated. And then it was like we knew a bunch of other people who already skated. So it was kind of like, almost for me, I feel like it was like kind of destined to be, essentially.
Right.
But then skateboarding got me into everything else. It was like,
So
Go ahead.
the point he made about Devo getting in the board, bro, that's why Supreme is so integral to like the culture of a lot of this shit.
Shout
It's
out to my
'cause
bro Connor. Connor, my brother, works for Supreme, so yeah.
instead of them like back in the day, bro, instead of them reaching out to like who the fuck knows, right? Just random rich white kids who gonna pay for this shit. It's really not that much,
Right.
Anyway, but they was giving out shit. It was like a real skate shop in the heart on like the heart of Lafayette, the heart of Soho, you know, like.
Right.
And they was really like kids came out a year after that, and all you would see is box logos, and not a single kid paid for any of them tees. Like they used to just give shit out. Like even Tyler the Creator coming up, that's why he was so big with Supreme, is because they used to just gift this nigga shit because he was just like they fucked with him. That's almost like a staple. It's like a commandment of like having, you know, a real skate shop that's like, you know, rooted into the culture with whatever you're doing.
Right.
Like, you know, this kid obviously comes from a rough background, but we fuck with him. Like, let's just give him some free shit.
At that point, you're essentially like building a community
Facts, yeah.
for yourself.
Big
And
time. The skate community, 100%. You're big, yeah.
what were you about to say?
Oh, so like what I was gonna say was a couple months back I was lit or whatever, right? And you mentioned kids, right? I had that was directed by Larry Clark.
Larry Clark.
I had his daughter as my Lyft driver. She lives out here.
Yo.
I got
Word?
photos in my phone, bro. Yeah. For real.
How do you
No
even get to that
fucking
point?
way,
You
bro.
just you
I
be chopping it
don't
up with the
know,
Lyft drivers and shit.
bro.
Larry
Bro,
Clark's
sometimes,
daughter?
bro, I'm
Yeah.
hopping in somebody else's car, bro. I be talking because I'm like, hey, I be in somebody else's vehicle. It's like a respect thing. You feel me?
Yeah.
So like
You don't
I was
know
just
Larry
like,
Clark?
yo.
Nah, put
It
me
was
on.
Larry Clark's daughter, bro. Like she was like, yo, she was like, you look like you skate. I was like, bro, I was in like a trucker hat, like a white tee, some Dickies, shoes all thrashed up, lit,
Skater fit,
like
yeah.
out from the night from before, whatever. She was like, oh, where you going? She was like, you look like you skate, and I was like, yeah, I skate or whatever. And she was like, I wonder if you know my dad. And I was like,
Who the fuck's your
Huh?
dad?
I was like, who's your dad? And she was like, Larry Clark. And I was like, huh? And she was like, do you know Chloe Sevigny? And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah. She's like, that's my dad. And she's like, take down my number. I was like, whatever. So I have her number. Took down her number or whatever.
Oh, we gotta get
And
her
bro,
on the pod,
she
bro.
starts like sending me photos, and it's like her of Chloe Sevigny and her when they were like young.
Yo,
her and Larry
what?
Clark.
Oh
Bro,
shit.
like I have it in my phone, yeah. But it was his daughter, and so she moved out here from New York with her husband to like raise their family. So like they have like I think they have like 2 younger boys or something like that.
Yeah.
She was my Lyft driver though.
Oh, I have to, bro, like,
Like I kid you not, I like lost it low key. I
you
was
have,
like,
you
what?
would
That really
actually
fucked you up
have
when
to
you heard
try
that?
get her on the
Like,
pod.
Bro,
Damn.
yes, especially because it's like, bro, he's like, I was telling her, I was like, my little brother works for Supreme, whatever, in San Francisco, and she was like, yeah, like the Larry Clark Supreme shit,
Yeah.
blah, 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 like, and it was like this whole thing, and I
I'm
was
sure-
just like, yo, that's your pops.
I'm
like,
sure
for
Banks
real.
knows exactly who he is, bro.
Dude, it was crazy.
Tulsa, he got a photo book called Tulsa. Tulsa, as a photography book, is arguably
Larry Clark does? This is his book? Okay.
Yeah.
This was his very first book. He shot it in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and it's an all black and white photography book.
It's beautiful, by the way.
It costs like
If you have it.
$500 if you want to try to get it. It's one of the most expensive photo books I own.
It's one of the photo books though that's like $500.
And
that,
worth
like,
it.
It's worth $500. Like
So-
I'd pay $1,000 for that book.
Oh, wow.
So basically,
real.
Okay.
in the photo world, basically what he did with this photo book was like Catcher in the Rye did for literature, where he kind of had to bear the cross to like progress freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of all this shit. It was so fucked up, bro. People was trying to cancel him left and right. It came out sometime in the 80s.
He was doing that through photos? Okay. So
They're the
is that
most
what that
fucked up
essentially what that
photographs
book
you've
is?
ever seen in your entire life.
Mm.
Like ever. It's so fucked up, but it's not like he was exploiting it. He was living that life.
He was documenting it.
Yeah, people shooting up with kids crying in the other room. Like, you know, I don't know how much of it I can even say without you getting demonetized off this shit, but
Right.
it's fucking dark.
It's
Really
it's
dark.
super.
What was
dark.
his initial claim to fame? Was that Supreme?
It was Tulsa.
Tulsa?
It was Tulsa.
he,
for
came,
sure.
he came up as
And
a
then kids.
photographer.
And then kids.
Yeah, well, he started directing movies after that. So he also did Bully.
Bully. Yeah, he did
One of my
Bully.
favorite joints. That came out a little bit after. But yeah, Kids was the first one. And actually, the way Kids got created was Harmony Korine, one of my favorite directors, writers. He was a teenager in New York, just living with all them skate kids. and he pitched the idea to Larry Clark at Washington Square Park one day, and he was like, "Yo, I have a great idea for a movie," and he pitched it, and he was like, "Sick, let's shoot it, you know, let's."
Oh wow.
They went into pre-production like that week, you know.
And then within skate culture too, all of the kids that Harmony Korine was like living with were like legendary within skateboarding.
Bruh.
Like
Harold
I'm talking
Hunter.
about, like Harold Hunter, like legendary. Like
So this
what
was like this was
what's
his
his
house
face?
where he like.
Fitzpatrick.
yeah, and then what was it? What's his face from? That was in
Leo
Friday.
Fitz-
That was in Friday. He was in. He was Roach.
He
was
passed
Roach.
away. He was the white dude with the long hair. I'm blanking on his name, but yeah, he was
Sean
Casper.
something.
He was
But
Casper.
He was
in the
Casper,
movie.
yeah, in the movie, and he's legendary too. Like it was just like it was crazy. Yeah, it was
They
like the cast was
documented
like.
a full
Wait, y'all just
nuts.
fucked me up. Casper in Friday?
Nah, he was,
No,
his name was
Casper and
and
Kids,
Oh,
but he
okay,
was
okay.
Roach in Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, and
He worked at the
what
he
was
worked
it?
at
Friday
the
after next.
Pinky store.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know what you're
The
talking
white
about.
kid.
Yeah.
That was like
His
yeah.
homie, the Day-Day's
Yeah.
like right hand man. or
Yeah,
whatever.
but he was like legendary in skateboarding.
Yeah.
Like
I forgot he does have a little like skate scene in there too.
Yeah.
So what was like? This was like a house that he held, like to kind of just like put these younger guys on. Is that essentially what it was, or?
Not
I think
even.
it was
It shit
honestly
came
like he just
stemmed
happened to
from
be
the
there.
culture of,
Yeah.
like that whole just scene back then. It was so fucking niche that you know, like all them little Supreme like shop rats and shit like that was all. They was all.
When did that? Hold up. When did that movie release?
94, if I believe.
Okay, so Supreme was new then.
Yeah, it was
So
90,
Supreme came
95.
out in
Might have been
94, so-
95. Or
Okay,
something
so
like
yeah,
that.
it was
But
like the year
just after
But
it
I remember
started.
all of those dudes rode. They were like the first Supreme team dudes.
Yeah,
like
yeah, they
at
were.
the beginning. Yeah, so like
all them actors was first time actors.
yeah, Chloe
Even
Sevigny,
Chloe
yeah,
Sevigny,
all
yeah,
of them.
yeah.
Yeah,
Damn.
That's just crazy.
Yeah, shit.
And then they started actually like showing that movie in like sex ed because of like the actual storyline is like you
fucking
know
crazy.
it was
Yeah.
during the AIDS pandemic, and it's like that's the moral of the story. It's like it's shot sick. If you're into like you know if you skate at all, if you are into Supreme at all, if you're into certain shit at all, like
That's the movie.
the actual
That's the- yeah.
the plot line is like awesome, but then there's this underlying like message.
That's sick. Cause I generally want to watch this movie and like
Got
we're
it.
talking about shit that you know I feel like other people
It's free.
care
Bro, I
about.
feel like for
It's
what
free
you're
on
into,
YouTube for anybody.
do
who
it.
wants
Yeah, do it.
Like watch it. Yeah, for sure. It's fucked up, but it's like at the same time, it's like it's shot beautifully. It's a beautiful, beautiful film. Like
See, I feel like I almost wish I had the internet as a kid just so I can be at multiple times be focused in multiple different genres. Cause I feel like growing up, at least for me, like it was only like a couple of genres that I was on to. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't exposed to
You
like
had the internet as a
certain
kid, though.
shit.
that makes
Not
sense.
really,
though. Like,
though.
we had,
I mean, like, we had
like
MySpace.
dial-up shit though. Like
Yeah.
we all old enough.
That's
to
totally
know, like,
different.
we had dial-up. Like a lot of people here don't even, you know.
It wasn't like I was going on MySpace and nigga was like, yo, check this fucking kids movie out and all about skate. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and was like cool niggas doing it. So
Yeah.
that's pretty interesting.
It's just like different. It was a different time, man. So like I get what you're saying, cause like I know for me, even like, man, I think the first time I saw kids was at like another homie's house. You know what I'm saying? It was like another younger homie that I knew, and it was like I think his older brother happened to be watching that or something. And so it
The
was
older
like,
brothers always
That's
do.
how
Okay.
I was introduced to that as well. It wasn't like necessarily like my family, but like yeah, go ahead,
Did y'all ever see Gummo?
bro.
No.
Lit.
So Gummo.
Bro, I'm so
Stupid,
bad with movies. Like, even if a
Stupid,
bitch talks to me about some movies, I don't even know.
Played that like
Stupid
in middle
lit.
school.
There you go. All right.
actually.
So
But
Gummo.
I did watch that when I was like
When he had the look, bro.
That's
When he was
crazy.
taking the bath,
Gummo
bro.
was
Oh,
the
man.
second movie that Harmony Korine both wrote, but now he directed this one as well. So Larry Clark wasn't involved. It's the second movie, and it was critically loved. Well, kinda. It's like it's like a cult following now. People love that movie to death, but it like did not make the studio any money.
So
Right? It flopped basically.
Yeah, like the most famous, like you've definitely seen it,
But like
or like you
Playboy
guys have
Cardi
seen it
had
before.
had, like,
The
Oh,
Bunny
with the
Boy-
kid and the
Bunny
gun
Boy
and,
shit,
like,
where
it's like-
the white kid
Right.
and he has the fucking ears and shit,
Yeah.
whatever, which is kind of funny though. So one of the homies I skated with back home and worked with, the homie Jake, he's from Nashville. Bunny Boy is his best friend to this day. Yeah.
Yeah, he
That's
casted
interesting.
Like,
that.
so it's that kid.
He casted that randomly too. He talks
he
about
sure
it,
did.
and
He
it
did
was
cast
just
that
like
kid randomly.
random ass kid.
He was
yeah.
just like,
You know what's
I
funny?
like
You
this
know where
kid,
I seen
bam.
that movie?
Yeah.
Like not like seen the movie, but I seen like references of obviously like the Cardi shit. But like my earliest reference was from Belly. I believe they were watching
Belly,
it
From
in
they
Belly,
Belly,
watched
right?
And they're like, what
They're
the
watching
and
it.
DMX is like,
They're
yo,
like,
what
yo,
the
this
fuck you got
nigga,
on
they're
this
literally
TV?
talking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
like, what the fuck are you watching?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's almost just like would you say it's like appreciated just
Classic.
because of like the artisticness of it? Because you said it
100%.
flopped, right?
Yeah, but it is a full-on art film, bro.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's beautiful.
Nothing
it really
more,
is.
nothing less.
And it doesn't make sense either. Like,
Yeah.
you watch the film and you're like, none of this
There's
really
no
adds
meaning,
up.
There's no real
but-
like. There's no problem or solution. That it doesn't follow the regular format. And he talks about this.
Right.
He talked about it on Letterman when he was being interviewed about this specific movie. He said he doesn't agree with the linear, like chronological order of how a movie typically goes. How you're supposed to have a beginning, middle, and end. And he's like, I agree with having a beginning and middle and end, but just not necessarily always in that order.
Okay.
And some of the best movies have stemmed
From a
Pulp
different
Fiction was
storyline.
actually before that. So
Facts.
yeah, but
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction is similar where there's the beginning, middle, and end are completely out of order.
See,
And
but
you
like,
piece it together
Right.
yourself.
see, but then with like Pulp Fiction and all of Quentin Tarantino shit though, it's his own universe though.
100%. Those are some
Like,
of the best
it's his-
directors.
Did you know that about Quentin Tarantino?
What do you
Like,
mean by this? Like,
So he wrote all of those when he was in high school, I guess.
He's working
And
at
it was like-
Blockbuster.
And yeah,
didn't
when he
know
was
that.
working at
Yeah.
Blockbuster, and then when he was in high school, and I guess it's all supposed to be like Marvel Universe type shit, like where it's like Django is.
oh, they're all supposed to be like
yeah.
intertwined
So
to a
like,
sense.
what is Samuel Jackson's character's name in Pulp Fiction?
I'm blanking, bro.
Anyway, fucking in
Oh, Pulp Fiction.
in
the
Pulp
nigga-
There's
Fiction. what is
Vincent-
his-
Vincent
what is his
Vega.
character?
Marcellus? Is it Marcellus?
Nah,
it-
there's Vincent Vega and
Okay.
his
And his partner.
John Travolta and
Yeah,
I forgot his
and his
name,
partner.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yo, y'all keep going. I'm about to go
Django-
run to the bathroom. My bad.
Django is his grandfather.
Really?
It's supposed to be
Oh.
his grandfather.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
like same universe type
That's-
shit.
that's also
and then
why
they say
you-
like why he is as wild as his character is within that is because Django is his grandfather.
That's why you always see Big Kahuna Burger in his movies too.
exactly,
They always reference Big Kahuna.
exactly. Like all that shit. It's like all same like universe.
Wait, how did they
type
connect
shit.
that to the grandfather though?
Because
we're
that's
talking
a-
about the partner, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about the partner. So like, you've seen Pulp Fiction, right?
Right.
Okay, so you know how like wild Samuel Jackson's character is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like he's the wildest dude in the like. I mean, John Travolta's characters.
I feel like
guess
he was
both
kind
of
of
their
like the more
jobs.
sane one.
Yeah, but
Vincent
like
Vega sometimes.
you know, like he's kind of like. So they were saying how Django is his grandfather is because like think about
Oh,
it.
Django's
Django's
his grandfather?
the
Oh,
runaway
that makes
slave
sense.
that
That
is
makes
like
sense, 'cause that nigga
the
crazy.
dude that's the wild dude in the movie.
I thought you were
know
talking
what I'm
about
saying?
the
freed
nigga that he
slave.
was playing in Django, the slave.
Oh no! I'm talking about Django himself, not like, not Mr. Candy's like fucking. Yeah, nah, fuck that nigga.
I was
We
like,
don't
what?
fuck
How does
with
that
him.
go?
We don't fuck with him at all. No.
Another director I really fuck with that does his own universe and shit, and like, there's always what's the word? A motif that they always kind of like run back to is David Lynch. If you ever notice, every David Lynch movie, he does the curtains. Every movie, whether it's Blue Velvet, Twin Peaks,
My favorite Twin Peaks.
Mulholland Drive, it's always the red with
Always.
someone singing on a stage. It's always a reoccurring rerunning theme between his movies, and that usually indicates like the movie changing in some way, shape, or form. You know, like there's a different chapter that's
Oh, he does it like in the middle of the film kind of thing usually?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like usually middle of the film. It's like all red curtains.
Yeah.
It closes off, and then it'll like open back up.
with a
And it's
singer
like,
somewhere on the stage. Like, isn't every single one of his movies?
yep.
Is that something you've thought about like getting into, just like as far as film or just another artistic like expression?
Man, that's crazy. I've honestly like I think I've thought about it, but just like never known how to start. I've definitely like written before.
Oh,
Like
a
where
script?
oh yeah.
Okay.
I've definitely written a script before where I was just like, maybe I could do something like this. But it was more so like because of college and like stuff like that. But I've thought about it. I
Okay,
definitely
okay.
thought about it.
Did you finish college?
I didn't.
Didn't?
I'm a
Okay,
college
okay.
dropout, man. Like
Okay.
I think I told you earlier. I got lucky.
Yeah,
Not lucky where
I
I'm
think you
at.
did tell me. Yeah.
Not everybody gets as lucky as I am. I would tell anybody that is not me, or go back and tell myself like, hey, finish college, man. College
Right.
is important. Go to
Actually,
school.
let's get into
For
that.
real,
Well,
for real.
I'll have you introduce yourself. Well, what's up? What's good? Welcome to the Locked In Podcast. We got everybody here today. We got KHALID, Marco, and a special guest today. We got Wade. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for coming by, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you guys for having me.
But if you want to like just introduce yourself, just like what you do, just kind of like.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I'm Wade Novotny, or some of y'all know me as Wade Novotny. I do creative consulting within fashion. So
yeah, that details like a lot. There's a lot that just goes into like.
There's a lot that goes into that. I guess like some details I'm not gonna. I mean, we talked about that earlier, but
Right.
Pretty much what it is like I'm an idea guy. End of the day, and I'm an idea guy when it comes to like people creating clothes, when it comes to people wanting to know certain manufacturers and this, that, and the third. So yeah, that's what I do.
Do you want to get into like? I kind of just want to know like a little background about like how you kind of got to the creative consulting job without details that you don't have to explain, but just
yeah, most definitely. I mean, definitely we was talking about that earlier. I mean, y'all obviously didn't hear it, but you hearing it now. So I got kind of lucky. I was working in the skateboard industry before. We were talking about skateboarding a lot. I worked in the skateboard industry for like, I would say like 7 to 8 years, something like that. And pretty much like what ended up happening is I had a boss back home.
Wait, my bad, not to cut you off. What were you doing like then when you said like the skateboard industry?
I was working in the shop. I was working in the shop. I was like doing orders, like stuff like that. I was just like working in the shop. Man.
You was a Debo.
Yeah, I was a Debo. Shout out to my guy Debo yet again. But yeah, I was a Debo, man. I was just like working in the shop, doing normal retail. So like pretty much what y'all have done at 151, like I was doing at a skate shop, and it was cool, man. It was cool for the time being. It was awesome, like helping little kids and like getting people started and getting people kind of on a different path. I miss it, man.
Introducing people to stuff.
Yeah, introducing people to something that will like keep them out of trouble, but then like also inspire them and allow them to meet very creative people along the way. Honestly, so
from there, you kind of what happened after that? Like you worked
after that. So like when I was working in the shop, I actually had a boss who at the time, or actually still does. He worked in fashion as well, actually, like on the side. So he like helped own the shop, was working in fashion on the side. And for fashion shows, he's the person you would come to that builds the stages and like do all that shit. So shout out to Eric for doing that. That shit is crazy. But anyway, he would do that. And so it was kind of one of those things where he had like known I had collected clothes forever. And it was kind of one of those things where he was like, hey, he's like, I know this shop that's in town, whatever, they sell like women's high-end fashion, whatever. They're not doing so well. He was like, they're looking to know what to order and this and that. He was like, hey, would you take on that job?
This was in Denver?
In Denver, yeah. So like I was like, I mean, sure, I'll meet up with them.
Were you familiar with this shop? You said it was women's wear. So
I was familiar with them, yeah.
Okay.
So like I've always been somebody who like when it comes to me collecting and stuff like that, especially with my frame, I don't care if it's men's or women's at all. Like I don't give a fuck. Like if it fits me and I think it's cool, I'm buying it. I don't care what nobody got to say about it, whatever. So it's like, yeah, so I was familiar with them. It was called A-Line Boutique.
So you was over there shopping for real too?
Yeah, so like I'd been in there multiple times. My mom had been in there. An ex of mine, like she would go in there often, like whatever. So like, and they had an amazing selection, right? Mm-hmm. So anyway, I guess they weren't doing super well. And my old boss was like, hey, would you go talk to them about what they should carry? And I was just kind of like, I mean, I guess, you know, like not really thinking much of it, not thinking I was going to get paid from it, anything really. And literally what ended up happening was like my boss hit me up on like, I think it was like a Saturday or a Sunday or something like that. He was like, hey, will you come meet up with us? I was like, sure. So I go meet up with them. I'm having a conversation with the guy. The guy's like, oh, what should we carry? Like, we carry these so far. I'm like, yeah, this is kind of outdated. Like, you should maybe think about this or that or whatever, right? And so it gets to the end of the conversation. And he's like, how much do you charge? And I'm like, oh, shit. Like, what?
Yeah,
like,
pick your price.
I'm like,
Like, what the fuck?
Like, I'm like, dude, I'm just a black dude sitting here.
Is this right in front of like
you know
the dude too? Like this is.
Yeah, so like, bro, I'm like looking at my boss, like, bro, I really don't know, like, and my boss Eric looked at me and he was like, wait, tell him a number. And so I was like, I was thinking low at first, and I was just like, $1,000, like that'd be great, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then I was like, $3,000.
Let's see where I could take this.
I said it, and I saw, yeah, exactly. I was like, let's see where I could take it. Man wrote me the check on the spot, and I was just like, oh shit, this is crazy. Like,
That was
Damn, that's
like
nuts.
a consulting job.
yeah, just for like a consulting job, and I was just like, whoa, this is crazy. And then so like where I'm at now is I work for a music artist now, and pretty much I'm like signed underneath them for that. And so this person actually, you'll probably see more of that, definitely from like Instagram and like so on and so forth, because I'll post about it eventually.
Which artist?
But, huh?
Which artist?
He don't
I'm
want
not
to
gonna, I'm
say.
not
Yeah.
gonna say that. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah.
We're not gonna talk about that right now. But anyway, I'm signed to this artist, right? Which happened to come about through a mutual friend. And so that mutual friend came through a mutual friend, and they used to sell like weed back in the day together, like state to state. So backstory to that is kind of like this dude hit me up kind of on some super random shit. And he came to Colorado, and he was like, hey, I heard you collect clothes. I heard you like are good at this and that. And I was just like, how do you know me? And he knew this other dude, and he's like, oh, I know you from this person. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah. He was like, we used to sell weed together back in the day, like way back. And he's like, we used to sell weed state to state or whatever. And they both are like in these like crazy positions now. Like they're both stylists for like two major artists, like major
That's
artists.
crazy.
So the homie was like, yo, he was like, do you want to do this? And I was like, sure, like let's do it. So like now I'm signed to that artist, and I help with creative consulting for that artist. So
Damn, that's sick. So,
yeah,
Do you think it's like?
wait, Marco, if you're gonna talk, then like go a little
My
bit
bad.
closer to the mic.
I was gonna say, do you think it's like more who you know rather than what you know? I don't know. Or is
Dude,
it a mixture
I
of
think-
both?
honestly,
A good
I
mixture of
think
both.
it's like people get lucky, man. I really do think like I got lucky. I don't think it's like that for everybody. I think you need to work hard, and like that's what I was saying earlier. Like go to school, go do that. Cause it's like I think if you are banking on you getting lucky, it won't really happen. I know for me, I was at the point in my life where I was like, bro, I didn't really know what was gonna happen. Honestly, like I really didn't. I was just like, yo, I'm kind of coasting, whatever. I've always been one of those people where it's like I try not to plan too far ahead, because then I feel like sometimes you get let down if you plan too far ahead.
Right.
So it was just like one of those things where I was just like, I guess in my case, yes, it was about who I know, but I guess like at the same time, I did put in all the work, because it was like I learned about all this shit before I got into it.
Right.
It wasn't like I was just
You had
handed
knowledge
it.
on
I
whatever
had
it
the
is that they-
knowledge.
yeah,
I
and
really
that's what they
did.
was
I really
seeking.
did, and I really do.
wanted your
Like,
knowledge.
Yeah, it's like, and I'm still learning. You
But
know
would
what I
you
mean?
say like it's almost chunked up to like you just being surrounded by the right people? Because it sounded like you worked at this skate shop. Was this like a poppin' skate shop like in the city where
Bro,
you're at? So it was like the
303
spot.
Boards in Colorado. Shout out to them. Love them for life, man. Like literally, like they popping.
Okay.
When I say it was popping, like
It was
bro.
popping. So I would almost credit it to
Yeah.
that, because I mean
like
that's
they're one of the, like I'll put it like this. Like there's I guess there's like, what did they say, like 50 shops worldwide that are huge. 303 is one of them.
okay.
So like they were
So
doing numbers
Worldwide.
like, for
That's
real.
what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
kinda crazy.
Worldwide.
out of Denver, I gotta ask, like, what do you think of like Alex Sucks and like
What you mean,
yeah, like the artist
bro?
that's
Do
kind of
you
under
know that's
that.
my little brother?
For real?
Yeah, that's my
word.
little bro. Have
Yeah,
you ever
no,
met him?
I know he. Nah, I never met
You
him,
should
but
meet him,
I
man.
like his music.
Alex,
I like
Alex
his music.
Alvarez, man. That's his real name. Alex is incredible, man. You know what's funny is I met so like before I worked in the skate industry, or before I worked at the shop, I used to work at a little boutique that three of the homies, one of them I had known from skateboarding, and then two other ones, and Alex would come in as a young kid, young. And so like, man, when I met Alex was like shit, man, like Alex had to be like only like maybe 15, 16. And like that is literally my little brother, man. Like love him to death. Like him and Ralphie, like shout out to Ralphie, my boy Ralphie too. Shout out to Alex. Those are my little bros.
I like
for
the
real.
whole like Death Proof, collective.
Yeah, dude, it's sick. They were actually out here. What's funny is they were actually out here when I first moved here.
Yeah.
They were out here like, man, I only had to be here for like 3 weeks or whatever, and Alex and Ralphie hit me up, and because they own a brand together. And
Yeah,
so yeah,
Wasted Thread. Yeah.
They own a brand together, and yeah, it was crazy. Like they hit me up and they were like, "Yo, we're out here with these dudes." Whatever. I met all those dudes, and I was like, "Whoa, like." These dudes are wild, but like at the same time, I was like, "Yo, this is lit. Like
It's true.
this is
It's
y'all,
like so true to the culture.
and this is y'all." You know what I'm
saying?
saying? Like when it came to like Alex and Ralphie, I'm Peepaw. You know what I'm saying? I'm the dad. I'm the, like, yo, y'all little niggas need to slow down. type
Big bro.
shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm big bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like. But then they're on their shit with their homies, and it's like, bro, I love to see it. Like, I love my boys so much. That's crazy. You fucking mentioned
you
that.
know,
That's
like,
crazy.
No, I was gonna say give like a
Death
what is
Proof or like NASCAR Aloe is like the main.
Bro, I met NASCAR.
Dude,
NASCAR's
yeah.
a good nigga, bro. Like, I fuck with all of them, bro.
But he got this collective. It almost like, you know, not to put it in a box, but it kind of remind me of like the early origins of Odd Future, where it's like, you know, it's like a full collective of niggas. I wouldn't even compare it anywhere near like ASAP or, you know, nothing like that. Like, it's just
on
niggas
their
who do
own
their
way,
own
for
shit.
sure.
All the
For
music is
sure.
completely different. They got like a dude on it, Oddly Shrugs. He's kind of like, you know, on his Marilyn Manson shit. Like
Music artists,
obviously
right?
not. Yeah,
Dude, all
music
of them are
artists.
music artists.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, pretty much, I would say the whole collective, for the most part, is music artists. Yeah.
makes music too.
Dude, Alex's music is actually dope. Like,
No,
fire.
I've been listening
And you
to
know
his
what's
EP.
crazy?
Yeah.
So, Alex, when you hear this, drop that shit that you've been showing me for years. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
He's waiting for like an album or
Bro,
something.
he been dropping music. He been doing music for years, bro. He been trying to act like, I think what was it, like a 3-song EP or some shit?
Four.
4-song EP, whatever. Alex been making music for years, bro. And I'm like, the homie Ralphie too. Shout out to Ralphie. Ralphie been telling him like, yo, you are actually talented at this.
Drop it.
Drop it,
Yeah.
bro. Drop it.
It's hard to tell creatives sometimes, like to put their art out to the world. You know,
I
they
think
take
what
it so
is, too,
serious.
is when you meet people that are so talented in so many different lanes. Like,
Oh.
all those dudes are so talented at, you know, they're talented at fashion. They're talented at
They can take it
skateboarding.
almost
They're
He
anywhere.
skates his
talented.
ass off too.
Bro,
Like, yeah, he's
rips.
yeah.
Like,
He
he's
does
so
clothes, too.
good.
He actually does everything.
Yeah,
He does
Yeah,
yeah,
they
clothes,
all
too.
Oh, you know about
they
him.
all are so
Yeah,
good, like
yeah.
so good, and it's like they're all so talented at so
Actually,
many different things that it's
Mm-hmm.
just like it's kind of one of those things where it's just like I think that's where like sometimes like artists get caught up because they're like, yo, I'm making this music, but I'm like crazy at skateboarding, I'm crazy at fucking making clothes, I'm like I'm doing everything, and it's like that's incredible, you know what I mean? But it's
Right.
like I think that's where they get caught up because they're like, where do I?
They don't
go?
know. They can
You
take
know
it
what I
anywhere
mean?
they wanna
Like,
go.
yeah, so
So-
yeah, that's crazy. You mentioned that. That
It's
kinda just
another
threw me
big
off. I
thing
didn't know
though.
you knew that.
Is yeah, like the fact that they grew up in it, and the fact that like, you know, you grew up in it.
Yeah.
Like it gives you you know, it's almost like you just doing what you know. Like, you know, it comes naturally to
Yeah,
you to a certain
for
extent
sure,
because you
yeah.
kind of just been soaked in it for so fucking long. It's
Right.
like, you know, it's an extension of you. You know.
That's like for
Right.
me, I've always felt like it was like I never thought I was necessarily like that talented. It's just like I have the knowledge. Like
Yeah.
I'm that fly on the wall guy.
Yeah,
like it's
yeah.
like I'd like for some reason like we was talking about outside, like I collect or like not even collect. It's like I've managed to get in with the
The
people I needed
circles?
to with the people I needed to know, and it was just natural. It happened naturally. You know what I mean? I met Alex naturally. I met his parents naturally. You know what I'm saying? Like his little brother naturally, Ralphie naturally. Like everybody we knew, our homie Gus back home, who's super talented at shit too. Like him too. Everybody I've met in my life, man, it's like I've
All
that's one
organic.
thing,
Yeah.
organic,
Straight
super
genuine.
organic, man, and I wouldn't trade it for the world,
That's sick.
for real.
We can hop into the first topic. So the Nike Metaverse shit. I don't know if y'all have seen this. Obviously, we all collectively know about the Metaverse at this point.
Right.
But in October, Nike filed like half a dozen trademarks. So that's like logos, the Jordan logo, most of the logos that fall under like the Nike umbrella, and they just trademarked it for digital goods. So, I mean, that just opens like a whole new door of like revenue, a whole new stream of revenue for them. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know who I was talking to it about, but somebody was saying, bro, niggas, they're like, just wait, bro. Niggas is going to spend more money trying to get fly in the metaverse than they are in real life.
I mean, I think Denzel kind of pointed it out to me, like,
Yeah, somebody dead said
I
that.
think it's-
actually facts.
They're like,
though,
wait, bro.
but no, I think it's already kind of happening though, because like Denzel, my little brother, he's a big gamer himself, so like he sees and knows people who've spent more money on skins like from Fortnite
Yeah.
rather than their own personal closet. These are like grown men,
Yeah.
you know. So
Bro,
like,
that kind of like makes sense because I mean that's the same shit as like, okay, paying for the piece of art versus an NFT.
right.
You feel me?
Right.
The way that Amir broke it down to me, he said basically, he said it's gonna like Metaverse. I don't know. I don't want to misquote him, but
Yeah.
he said it's either gonna get to a point, or what they're trying to make is a place where it's like, if I want to hang out with y'all, like we're gonna be at our crib, we're gonna put on our VR, and we're all just.
That's definitely what it's like going to be. That's
Yeah,
what
and,
marketing
How
like-
y'all
does.
feel about that though?
Oh, it's unnatural.
It's weird, huh?
It's
completely
weird, it's
unnatural.
Is it weird because we're all like older, or is it like?
Nah, it's just.
I
not
think it's
natural.
weird. It has to be
Not
weird
natural.
for everybody, right? Because like everybody, I mean, like almost like the world, because we haven't even done it. Like we haven't even like collectively done it yet.
Right.
But we're drifting further and further from like natural humanity. You know,
I think
as a
I
whole.
think it's kind of weird. Like
It makes me sad. I don't like that.
it's sad, but to me, honestly, bro, to keep it like all the way real, I just be looking at shit like that looks like some other money. Like it's
course,
fucked up,
yeah.
but it's like okay, like that's just another like it's just where the world's going. So to me, it's like I can't control where the world's going. So I'm just gonna either
You
like
gotta adapt or kind of.
You gotta
Yeah.
adapt, yeah.
I necessarily
That's for
don't want to
sure.
be a sheep who like follows in line, but
No,
I
but
understand.
You about to adapt and make that bread though.
Right.
Like, tell me why I was saying before, like when NFTs first became a thing, I was like, bro, I would much rather own the painting than this
Right, of
digital
course,
whatever
yeah.
the fuck. You know what I mean? But now I'm like,
You'll
shit.
take a what's like the biggest NFTs? Those
What
monkeys,
you mean? We try to get to this bread, bro. Fuck it. We about to.
the bored apes. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Niggas been
the
making
board apes
crazy
or
money.
the little
Crypto.
like thing that floats with the rainbow behind it, whatever. That's
To
Oh,
me-
I know you're talking about like little.
And
you know what I'm saying? The little
Yeah.
cat or whatever.
NFTs
Yeah.
don't make sense to me quite yet. Like I understand them in theory, but it's like, you know, why would you want to pay so much for like a piece of art that no
Bro.
one sees? You know what I mean?
I think people are gonna see it, bro. I think
That's
that
the
like
thing. I
yeah.
think once I've been hearing about some things like projections or like projectors or some shit specifically for NFTs where you could actually kind of like, you know.
Are you talking about seeing it in the physical
yeah,
world?
this is
Khalid,
exactly
tell me why I have a
physical
homie
world.
back home who is now like working for a dude or whatever, and they're like trying to open up like a like some crazy ass like sneaker shop or something
Yeah.
in Colorado, and the dude who owns it like got rich like recently based off like some NFT shit, like multi-millionaire shit overnight. Like based on some like NFT.
I know it's kinda, like,
that was, like, some
redundant.
Reddit shit. Like we blew this up, and then
Yeah.
now it's worth all this money, and he like owns it, and then sold it to whoever. And it's like literally like overnight success,
Yeah.
like
that's nuts.
multi-millionaire.
It's really
Yeah.
like the gold mine now. Like I feel like we've all heard
Bro,
that.
it's
That's why
pretty
I said like
wild,
it's kind of
like-
redundant, but it's actually here. It's actually true.
Even
Like,
crypto.
yeah, I put them all under like damn near the same umbrella. Like
Bro, your boy's trying to figure out how to make them. Like,
make crypto.
or not make
know how to
crypto,
do
but
that.
make NFTs.
Yeah.
Man,
So I have a
that's what
girl-
I'm saying.
I have
That's
a girl
what.
in a homegirl that's in New York who's like an amazing artist, and she was like, I need somebody. She actually hit me up about it the other day. She was like, I need somebody who makes NFTs. She's like, I got this idea, whatever. I was like, girl, I'll figure that shit out.
Right,
Like,
right.
For the bag, I'm gonna figure it out.
Idea guy.
You know what I'm saying? We about to.
Honestly,
I'm
I don't
like,
think
hey,
it's anything more than like obviously a complicated video, but like I don't think it's anything more than a YouTube video, to
I
be
don't know how
honest.
to make videos.
I mean,
No,
yeah,
like
it's
I
not
think
my
you could
idea,
figure
I know
all
what
that
you're
shit out
saying. Yeah, no, for
through
real,
YouTube.
for real.
Like, you know,
YouTube, yeah,
it's probably not
sure.
gonna be like black, like, you
I've
know.
seen a YouTube video of people explaining that shit.
Yeah,
though.
I'm sure.
Like how to make
Of
them.
how to make
sure,
NFT.
yeah.
Mhm.
Honestly, don't you guys like? I mean, I think that's where like fashion is almost heading. Obviously, the physical pieces are always going to be there, but it seems like, I mean, Balenciaga with the Fortnite shit. That's
Yeah.
kind of like whatever. And then like we got Nike patenting for the Metaverse, and then they just put all their shit into what's that game we were talking about? Oh, Roblox. They made like a whole like Nike land. So I feel like at this point, if you are into like clothes and want to start your own brand, you got to have that at least in the back of your head
Right,
of
that's true.
dropping some type of
That's
NFT or some type of digital product where you can like obviously market it and sell it to people.
What do you think the best one is?
What do I think the best one
Yeah,
is?
to go.
Honestly, bro,
To,
I
like,
think
do a new brand.
I'm just gonna say like for my damn self, like I've already been thinking just from like doing research and shit like this, bro. I want to damn near drop a T or whatever the fuck next product's gonna be, like NFT first. Just like even if nobody
Whoa.
doesn't even like buy it necessarily, right?
I think
Like,
that's like really thinking ahead though.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's really thinking ahead for sure.
But I just think that it's almost like, so if you like do that and then you can drop like the physical tee after, like it almost feels like a marketing. It feels like a little story to it. But I think that like,
I think you should have said that on here.
Yeah,
I think
like,
you
I'm
should.
like thinking,
You know what I'm saying?
That's what you're
You smart, Albert. Yeah, for real. I don't think you should have said it.
It's kind of like you.
I feel like
Like-
people are gonna like a
we might
nigga who
need to
gonna
edit-
do something
we might
gonna
need
do
to
it.
edit that out. Like,
Oh,
just
yeah.
break pause in the center.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I be
But
trying
that's
to
smart,
cook.
bro. That's
Just
super
bleep it out.
smart,
I'm
actually.
gonna release it as a.
Just a,
I mean, y'all have like made clothes before, like so. It's
Yeah,
like, I
ton.
mean, all of y'all have made clothes before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
accessories,
So it's
like I
yeah,
make glasses.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think something like that, I truly think that's like the future. Because my girl asked me, like, I think I talked about it on a podcast like a month ago. She's like, what do you see like the future for like clothes and fashion? And I'm just like, bro, what? Like, I don't know. This shit all repeats itself. Like, it's the same shit.
They
But
used
now
to say,
I'm kinda,
what was it, like a 15-year cycle, and now it's even faster. Like now
Man.
because of the internet, it's even quicker than that.
bro, isn't that weird that like Y2K, like the early 2000s, like we lived that not too long
Bro,
ago.
and
It
that's
feels like,
now.
and it's
Like,
right now.
That's right now. Like
That fucks me
you
up.
See it all day.
That's
you see
actually
it
nuts.
all day. Like literally, like it's like, bro, the resurgence of like Jean-Paul Gaultier and like shit like that. Like it's
Right.
like, bro, my mom was wearing stuff like that. Like I never would have thought that would be like.
The thing.
Now, my mom was wearing Chrome Hearts, bro. Like I don't think I never.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
Your mom was kind of cold, I feel like.
bro.
like she kind of like a
Lisa
little
Renee
different.
Cobb, bro. She does that.
That's fire,
For
that's
real.
fire.
She fire. She live out here too. So,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You
she
and
cool.
mom Duke's close?
bro, that's my everything, bro. Like, hey, that is literally my mom is my everything for real.
That's fire. Same here.
For real. So,
Honestly.
yeah.
Going back to like the NFT shit, does that sound like something you guys would do as far as like purchase clothes for like the metaverse? Like, are you gonna
Never in my life,
get
bro.
ERD
I,
in the metaverse?
I don't want to participate in the metaverse, to be honest. I
No?
fuck with VR, but I'm gonna use my VR to just like look at porn and you know, go on YouTube videos. Like I went on YouTube on VR, and like you could be on like a boat in Amsterdam. I was looking at some star shit.
You sound like you already in the metaverse
Bro,
more
yeah,
than
I was
everybody
gonna say, I
else.
was
Like,
like-
nigga, you got some
I was
pussy
like,
in that
Khalid,
bitch, and you
are
was on a boat,
literally,
nigga.
Like everything you just said is like so wild to me. Like that just blew my mind. That just blew my whole.
You already
brain.
in that bitch.
I was
Yeah,
just
okay?
like, what? Like,
Hey, you never seen VR strip clubs?
bro? What? No.
Yeah, there's
no.
VR strip clubs where you could
We
throw.
just gonna
you could
go to
throw money.
Jaguars or highlighter.
You could
and
throw
get it
real
popping.
money
Like
in.
what?
And then you just got a headset on and these two controllers and you just like.
Dude, I need to leave. I need to. Hey, thank y'all for having me, man.
Man,
I'm just
man.
playing. Nah, bro. Like, I'm like everything you just said is like mind blown.
I wanna
That's
make-
Honestly, that
crazy.
strip club shit is kind of crazy.
I
though.
want to
Wait,
make a
time out,
VR
shit.
strip club. Like I'm not.
You want to make one?
Yeah, I want to make one.
Wait, so you,
and
did
I want to make it all reservoir,
Why
and
are
I
you
want
talking
like
about it right now?
because I don't know.
nigga, did you were actually in a
Trademark.
VR strip club?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the website? What the fuck is that? That's hard.
I don't know. Jacob and them like they be throwing money in that bitch all the time.
Okay,
Like,
so your homies put you on
Yeah, I don't
and just
own
threw
a
the
VR
headset
set.
on you.
Yeah, so I just go.
Hold
over
on. So
and-
when you throwing money in the VR set, like what is that?
you're throwing your like you put money into like
Oh
their
shit,
thing and,
nigga,
like,
you're in the
throw money.
metaverse.
Yeah.
Bro, that sounds crazy.
So was it hard? Well, why would you not want to rock some Balenciaga in that bitch?
Is it more so like the purpose
make
that
a
you
good
don't
point.
actually like have to
Very
go
good
to the
point.
strip club?
I
Like,
might as well
you could just,
flex
like,
while I'm in
put
the
on-
metaverse.
Is it more so like the point is like you don't have to actually like leave home to go to the strip club?
I think
Or, like,
basically.
what is the
The metaverse. Yeah.
And it's a new thing. Nobody, it's
bro? That
like,
sounds so crazy.
It's actually,
you
like,
just
naked
blew my
women?
brain. Like I'm like what?
Yeah.
I'm
Right?
like whoa.
It's
You feel
actually
like that's
naked
gonna
women
be a
though.
thing in the future? The metaverse.
What?
Sick. Okay.
The
That's
metaverse? Bro, unfortunately,
Shaking ass,
yeah.
don't
Wait, time out.
Like,
What'd you say,
fashion brands
Marco?
are gonna have to
Hold
do
up.
it.
My bad. You gonna speak? Cause you be speaking low too. I ain't gonna cap.
Do you think that's going to be a thing in the future, like the metaverse? Like, do you think brands are going to have to do like something digital?
Dude, I think they're gonna be like, I think brands are going to do things digitally, and then they're gonna be like, that'll be the rebellion is that you don't do it digitally.
Oh,
there'll be
it
those
always
sick-ass
it always
brands.
goes to that point, right?
But it will always go to that point.
We're
so
like,
like,
oh,
there'll
we're
be
not
those
gonna do
brands
it.
that are like, nah.
That's a good
Like
point.
he's gonna be that guy.
Right.
You're gonna be that guy.
to just not.
I
do
can feel
shit.
it. Yeah.
I mean,
you're
because
gonna be like, I'm at home at the strip club, like on my VR set, but like, nah, we making this shit in real life.
Right.
But I think it's the feel, bro. Like, it's like y'all have all made clothes before. Like, it's like, bro, it's the feel. It's like the actual like.
You brought
It's
up
like
you brought up a
this.
good point
It is
actually.
that.
I think the illest way to do it is when you come from left field. So when you do some shit that's kind of just like not expected, everyone gonna make like
You know what I'm saying?
a digital T-shirt, a digital whatever. But if you kind of make a digital space that's just like curated, like so I don't know, like
So what if you? I'm gonna say a good idea, and I'm just gonna say, like a digital pop-up, right? And you were able to create your own settings, probably a lot less for the money, or maybe around the same. I don't know, but you can purchase. Like a nigga can pick up a T-shirt, but actually get it shipped to them in real life.
That'd be
That would be
fucking
dope.
hard.
Yo, that
I feel
would
like
be
the graphics
sick.
would have
That'd be
to
so
be
hard.
Like A1. It can't be no booth.
But even
No,
No,
the
no, no, no.
idea
You can drop.
Let's be honest.
That's
Booth
be like
graphics gonna be booth graphics forever.
Facts.
That's gonna be a thing forever.
But the
bro.
idea alone.
I don't know. I got the
Clothes, feel like
PS5.
it's
That
the
shit
most
cracking.
important thing.
You say what?
I said I got the PS5. That shit cracking. I ain't gonna cap. That shit got the good graphics.
But you know what I'm saying?
I know
though?
what you mean. They gonna,
yeah.
be, especially for the metaverse, nigga. We're all
Yeah.
gonna be little blobs, like
It's gonna be a thing forever. Like
until we
at
get
some
the full.
point, because there will always be graphics that are better than graphics prior.
Yeah.
Like think about it. Like when I don't know, like what PS4 came out, right? We're like, oh shit, like it's PS4. The graphics are crazy.
We thought that shit
Then
was
it's like
real.
PS5,
Yeah.
and then we're like,
Yeah,
man,
true.
fuck that PS4, fuck that PS3, 2, 1. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's just like it's always a thing. It's always a thing.
But then
Like people are always going to try to upgrade it until eventually it gets to the point
But
of
think-
our actual eye.
think
That's
about
what
it,
will
though.
be.
Right.
That's
Nigga,
what it will be.
how come niggas is going back to Polaroid and film and shit like that? It's nostalgia, right? Some
But
niggas
it's
miss the nostalgia of
yeah,
real life.
for sure. No,
So
that's
obviously,
facts.
while you're gonna have a lot of people doing this VR thing because it's so new and innovative and kind of like the cool thing to do, you're always gonna have people who want the original shit. That
But
we just
then-
want to go back to real life. So everything is gonna come in waves, bro. Like you're obviously gonna get this massive tsunami wave of like niggas who's doing the digital shit, and then I think you're also gonna get like a counter resistance to it. You know?
Mhm. Yeah, agreed. Definitely agreed.
Damn, I had a good point.
Niggas who's like, nah, fuck that, brick and mortar only. Like,
Yeah, there will
I
be
wanna
people
meet
like
I want to
that.
meet my customers,
Which I
like-
think is so sick.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
That
think
was like
it's-
the first time I saw your stuff in person. Like, I met you for the first time tonight.
Yeah.
And I think you remember that because you were helping me that day, actually,
Yeah.
Marco.
What'd you think of it? What was your first thoughts on it?
Bro, I was like, yo, whose shit is this? Like, immediately. Like, I was like, yo, this is made super well. Graphics are
appreciate
done
that.
super, super well. Like, I was like, yo, whose shit is this? Like, Marco was like, I was like, Marco, whose shit is this?
Yeah.
Like, this shit is good. I was like, this might be some of the best shit in the store. Like, whose shit is this? And he was like, yo, it's this fool's, blah, 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 blah. I was like, yo, he knows what the fuck he's doing. I was trying on shit. I was like, whoa, all the silhouettes are different.
Yeah, I
like, I
appreciate
was like,
that,
yo,
yeah.
this is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, for real. I was like, damn, that's crazy. So, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's like, that's cool that people want to do, like, if the wave of the future will kind of be like that. But then at the same time, it's like, damn, but what about that old school, like,
No,
I had
for
to
sure.
put that shit on. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like, Mr. Put It On type shit.
My
Yeah, in real life.
inspiration
In
always-
real life, though.
My
Yeah.
inspiration always comes from, and like my motive and my drive comes from like trying to recreate the feeling that I once had when I was a kid looking at certain pieces. That's like that's literally what drives me, like I want to recreate that feeling for, the next kid, the next generation, whatever, like, and for me, I don't think like progressing to the future is necessarily the way to do it. I think, sticking to your roots, sticking to, where you came from. Like, obviously nobody knows it better than you, but like maybe a kid who was born in 2004, like, might have a completely different perspective on this shit, because it's like, this is all they know.
Right. No, that's interesting. I did want to say like one last thing about the NFT space. What's interesting is like it almost seems like most of the conversation around it is just about money. So it's like that's what's kind of weird, right? Like there's almost like no artistic approach. Like when you hear these conversations about like NFTs, cryptos, or like fucking even the Nike shit. Like the first thing we hopped on is about the money. So it is like that could be something. Like it might actually just come in waves because there's no true like compassion feeling besides some money.
And I think because the fact too of like what you're talking about is like because there is no actual like
Right.
you can't reach out and like grab it. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of like I mean, yeah, even like you said, like we started the conversation and all of us were like, oh, but the money though,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I think you're absolutely right because it's not actually tangible. It feels like, I don't know, it feels like a debit card to us.
Right.
Like we're just like, yo, like I'm gonna get that cash, like, and that's what I'm in it for. But like maybe the younger generations maybe do approach it in that way where like it to them because it's like it has been a thing for their whole life.
It makes
maybe
sense
it does
to
feel
them,
tangible to them,
exactly,
and maybe like
yeah.
maybe we're outdated in that way.
We was literally
No, for
You know
real.
what I'm saying?
Honestly.
Like,
technically,
it's
we
like-
old heads in it, like technically, you know.
Technically, like, so it's like maybe we're like outdated in that way where it's
very
like
possible.
for them it does feel tangible.
Yeah.
Like that almost makes me want to ask like people like AB like, yo, like, does this feel tangible to you? Because like him being younger than us, maybe that does have
Got a
something
completely
to do.
different,
Right.
yeah.
Maybe
to
it
him.
maybe has a whole different feel, and I didn't do that. Was such a good point because it's like I don't think I thought about that until now, honestly. So
Yeah, something I kind of
yeah, that's a good point.
just recently started
Really.
thinking about, honestly.
That's amazing. Yeah, I never thought about that.
We can hop into another topic. Let's talk about the Drake and Kanye truce. So I feel like I haven't seen a picture reposted by most people besides like that Kanye shit. Maybe like when R.I.P. Dolph died, like a lot of people reposted Dolph.
But now you saw the Kanye Drake.
Yeah, the Kanye Drake truce, and that was shit was kind of like I was like, oh shit, it's kind of crazy. Then he dropped the video, and he's like, oh, with Drake. So I guess like the story behind it was they went out to dinner. I guess I don't know where they went to. This is like the rumor of it. They went to dinner. Dave Chappelle like performed, and I don't know. They made a truce. I think Jay Prince brought it together.
I was gonna say I seen that picture that was recirculating was him, Drake, Jay Prince. Obviously, he was the mediator on the left. He was like the Nelson Mandela of it, like you know, like let's bring peace. And that party with Dave Chappelle and shit, it looked like they was in different outfits, so it could have been like a separate thing.
Right.
Oh yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
Tell me why I saw. Did y'all see that shit of Hidden in Why where that fool posted that shit?
No.
And he cut out Jay Prince, and
He did?
everybody was on his head, bro. Like,
Hey, that's
they
kind of
was-
good though.
He cut out Jay
I kind
Prince.
of fuck with
and
that.
But like Jay Prince is the GOAT, bro. Like it's like you can't cut out Jay Prince.
He was the mediator.
He's the one who put
mediator.
it.
brought the
You can't
peace.
cut out. You can't
Yeah.
cut out the piece, bro.
Even
Like,
if you look at the original Kanye video where he was like kind of talking to Drake through the phone and he's like, "Yeah, I want to make fucking peace." There's like Jay Prince standing over
Just
his
standing,
shoulder,
just
like
chilling, yeah.
like just looking like, "Nigga, you better not say nothing crazy, boy." Like just
Yeah.
mob ties.
Dude, I thought that was a pretty incredible though, honestly. I think it like needed to happen too. It's like, dude, there's been so much shit going on over the last like this year's been pretty wild, I feel like, in general, and then like
keeps
last
getting
year's
wilder.
been like yeah, absolutely. And then like last year was like, dude, last year was nuts. Like I was in Colorado for last year and it was like even more crazy than here. Like it was very similar to California, like how lockdown was and everything. And it was just like hearing about people dying constantly and this and that. It was like, dude, like I don't know. There needs to be stuff like that in the media where it's like, all right, maybe there's something positive to look like, something positive going on. You know what I mean? For
Right.
once, you know what I mean? It's like we just had that fucking Dolph shit yesterday, so it's like.
Following that shit.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, dude, like, let's
It is
bring
very
some positivity.
refreshing.
Yeah, it's just like, bro, like, both of y'all are not types of dudes that, like, are gonna end each other's lives in general anyway. So it's like, yo, stop the fucking beef. Just continue on with your life. Like, it's okay and figure it out. You know what I mean? Y'all were boys at one point before. What's the problem?
Right.
Figure it out. You know what I mean?
I almost feel like
hit the little squabble and just, like, end it. You
kill
know
it
what I'm
off
saying?
right there. Just
Hey,
go in
get
a
it
friendly
off,
fade
like-
in the back.
Little friendly fade in the back. Like, why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, why not? Get a little friendly.
That would be
Fuck it.
interesting to see if like
Wouldn't that be kind of fire, though?
Kanye and Drake.
that would be the shit. That would be
That'd be
funny.
crazy.
That would be a good
Kinda
story
gotta-
just to hear, like to just know what kind of
Dude,
happened.
like, hit a little squabble and, hey,
But you know, I mean,
be cool.
y'all remember like Kanye's coming out with a documentary next year, like on Netflix. So like, hopefully, like that conversation is part of that documentary. That would be something like very interesting and kind of like to document.
Let me
Nonetheless,
ask you something real quick. That's been going on for, like, how long has that been filmed for? Because that's been in the making for
they said
Seems
for
like
like
since like
quite some time, right?
right.
Okay.
yeah, since like college dropout era.
Wow.
Seems like
really?
it seems like they
Wow.
got clips from all the way back then. But I don't know.
Damn, that's incredible.
Yeah,
I can't wait until that comes out. That's actually going to be so interesting.
Hitting up all your old cameraman's, telling them to bring the
Yeah.
film. Nigga, I need all
I
that.
just hope they cover a lot of dark, twisted fantasy, and I'll be fine.
Right. Did you hear Kanye say that was like his favorite too? Like,
Bro,
he put that on top.
That's my favorite too.
Yeah,
Like
that's everybody.
Nobody's competing with it.
Yeah.
He knows that.
Devil in a New Dress, bro. That is
That's the
legendary, iconic. Yeah.
Do you guys think that like this Kanye and Drake thing will last? Like as far as them being cool?
They need to drop a mixtape.
I hope so.
Because
I
it's
hope
been
so.
rocky
That is a good
for
point. They do need to drop a
They just
mixtape.
need to drop a mixtape.
together. They're supposed to do a concert. That's like the whole thing. They're supposed to do a concert to free Larry Hoover. That's why Jay Prince brought it together.
How do y'all
I don't
feel
think
about
that's gonna happen.
that though?
With the free
because
Larry Hoover?
that is wild.
With the
Kinda
concert?
like, what?
No, free and Larry Hoover, bro. Like
kinda like
that is
Larry
like,
Man,
yo, that is like. I don't think people realize like how like.
He definitely got some bodies on him.
Bro, that man
But-
was carrying around back in the day was carrying around a fucking like what was it, a fucking bazooka like in the city, just like
Word.
walking around type
see,
shit.
like I don't
But if
know
he
the
was
mad
protecting
details.
Bro,
I know he's a big gangster holding
No,
down
but I'm
Chicago.
not big gangster like
The ultimate,
huge,
like,
yeah,
the
like
boss, final
like
boss.
He's
ass nigga.
he's the president, he's the captain, he's the
Okay.
king. Like it's just like. It's like, dude, it's crazy. So they're like talking about freeing him, and it's like, dude, that's like along with that mix of like that
Positivity.
Kanye shit and like whatever. Like it's just like, bro, like
I would say
what
this
the
though.
fuck.
I hope as long as he doesn't do nothing crazy.
I think.
It's up
Yeah, I
What,
mean,
Larry?
We'll see.
right now.
We'll see.
I mean, you can be
I mean,
old
it's
as
like
hell.
that Dolph shit. Like, did you guys see that Dolph shit today where they were like, after Dolph got killed, it was like, okay, now there's a curfew in the city because it's like, bro, it's
Something's gonna happen,
lit.
yeah.
Like, people are not hyped about that shit at all.
I actually read a lot of articles like following that story. So like the mayor, yeah, they put out that curfew that night, but actually like it's rumored that Black Youngster's mom's house got shot up right after that, and even right before that, they immediately closed down. The police closed down Yo Gotti's restaurant in Memphis, just because like they kind of already knowing what the fuck going on. So
Yeah. So, like, KHALID, like, homie that you met, my homie Bryant, shout out to Bryant, by the way, that guy. He was saying that, so he's from Memphis. He grew up in Florida. He's from Memphis, though. So, like, he was talking about, when we were talking about it yesterday, just, like, on one of our group texts, he was like, dude, this is, like, a huge thing, like, in Memphis because of the fact of, like Dolph, I guess, was, like, that guy. Like, he was like, dude, Dolph would always help out the hood. Like, he was like, I would see Dolph riding around and, like, he would give out
Lambo.
money to random people, being like, he was a good fucking dude. So he was like, when he got killed based on, like, that shit or whatever, he was like, it's about to be crazy back home. He was like, some of my family members are, like, heading to, I can't even remember where he said, but he was saying that, like, his family members
They're
were heading to,
migrating.
like, they're migrating to different places. Yeah, exactly. Migrating to different places based on, like, that shit because they know it's about to be on some, like, super wild retaliation, crazy shit constantly. Like, and yeah, and then, like, hearing that was the first time I heard that about, like, Black Youngster shit.
getting shut
And
down.
then, like, Yo Gotti shit. Like, it's like, bro, like...
Memphis is nuts. Like Memphis is just
Dude,
crazy, period, bro.
Memphis
Like
is
they
wild.
birthed
And
Pooh
anybody I've
Shiesty,
met from
my nigga,
Memphis
that
is,
nigga's
like,
nuts.
usually pretty wild. Like, I can't lie.
Right.
Like, it's, yeah.
Especially like in the South, because like those gun laws are mad different, so people have a different, idea with the guns. They can.
I mean, I
tote
can't
it.
even lie, bro. When I got out here and I saw everybody
Right.
with the fire on them, I was like, yo,
Let
what
me get
is
my
going
fire.
on? Like, I was like, bro.
Did you
listen
grab
to-
one? Did you get one?
No, I've been had one.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I've been.
You brought your
I've
shit.
been. Yeah,
Yeah.
been. But anyway, like when I first moved out here, bro. So I live off of Highland. There's a QT like right there. I remember popping in the QT one day, and there was a white dude. He had on his little like vest, right? He had the extended clips like hanging out the vest though.
Oh, he's tweaking.
And I was like looking at the cashier, and I'm like, and he was like, "You all right, sir? Like, are you okay?" And I was like, "Bro, what
normal?
the fuck?" I was
It
like,
felt
huh?
so unnormal to. It's like
Well, because in Colorado, it's like you have concealed carry, so it's like you
Everybody's
have it,
hiding their
but
shit.
you don't know who got it. Like
Right.
everybody got it, but you don't know who got it. So it's like one of those things concealed. Where like out here, I was like, bro, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, this is crazy.
it definitely gets like a little like getting used to if you're not from.
I mean, I
like,
witnessed the shooting here already.
A
I've
word?
only been here for what, damn near 8 months. I witnessed the shooting. Me and my boy Jay witnessed the shooting one day. We were skating, and Bryant actually, all of us. We were out skating one morning with like some of our Australian homies. Like 9:30, we was in South Phoenix.
Damn, that's too early.
Bro, witnessed the shooting early during the summer. That shit was wild. Like I was like, what the fuck. Dude unloaded
Phoenix?
the whole clip. Yeah, whole clip on the car.
She.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
I'm
definitely
like,
like.
damn, I ain't lived here long enough for that.
Honestly,
I'm
bro,
like,
I
bro,
haven't
I'm
even
not-
seen like a clip get unloaded in a car yet. Like I've seen like little shootings. I had like
Dude, it
niggas
was
pull out straps
so
on me and
crazy.
shit. But,
I
like,
was just like, dude, it's too early. I texted my mom. I said, hey, I love you. Like, she's like, you all right? I was like, we going to a different skate park. There was a shooting over here. She said, what you mean?
oh, y'all kept the vibes going though.
Right, but it was just like, bro, it was too early. It was just like, I was like, bro, this is like.
That would have blew me, bro.
And a lot of time too, it's like, bro, it's based on some bullshit that don't even matter anyway. It's
Right.
like, bro, like, can't y'all just like squabble it out?
It's
whatever?
never actually worth somebody's like real life.
No, bro,
Never.
at all. Period. Like, it's just like, yo, like, I don't know.
No, I
Like in
feel
Friday when the old man's talking about your hands,
Yeah.
Craig, your hands. Like,
live to fight another
For
day.
real, live to fight another
Win
day.
some,
Like,
you lose some.
bro, I've been
But you
beat up.
live.
I've been beat up in my
Live to
life.
fight
Like,
another
yeah,
day.
it'd be like that, you know.
But I almost think that like kids now, like you remember how like I was saying I was like really into rap and shit as a kid. Like I definitely got mad influence to do bad shit and just like
Bro, I think that's like goes all the way back to what we were talking about for our first subject, talking about like music and shit. And I think how I was saying earlier, like how like I would get over like certain music.
Right. That was the reason.
I think that was the reason.
Okay.
Is that like sometimes it would just be too negative,
dark,
bro,
what
and
the
too
fuck?
like it's like, bro, I'm not even. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
I'm not even
on
on
that
that
type
right
of
now.
time. Like, so it's like, bro, and nor am I trying to be. So it's like, I don't know. I think that's like what also got me into
right,
other
right.
music was like,
At that point,
all
it's
right,
unrelatable.
this sounds too negative. Let me
Switch it up.
Let me switch it up. Let me hop on this, and maybe I've never heard it before. Maybe I'll love it. Maybe I'll hate it. Maybe I'll switch it up and find something else. You know?
Right.
It's like, yeah. So.
Because I mean, it just
Oh,
becomes unrelatable at a certain point. It's like, my nigga, I'm not out here robbing, shooting, and like
Bro,
killing.
and it's just like, I don't know. I think you get to a point in your life too where you're just kind of like, bro, is it really worth it? Not
Right.
really. Like, I like my freedom a whole lot. I like that I'm able to be here and kick it with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I'm
I
not
think
really
we all
trying to
do.
be on all that, bro. I'm trying to chill. I'm trying to skateboard, you know, collect clothes, shit like that.
Not facts.
Have some wine, you know, go to the zoo like I was at with my boy Jay earlier.
Yeah.
Like, do
Live
shit
a
like
normal
that.
life, yeah.
Live a normal life, you know?
I think
It's
that's
like,
what
I
we
don't
all
know.
want at a certain point. So another topic I want to go into is the Bottega. Matthew Blasi is the new creative director for Bottega, taking over Daniel Lee's position.
Fire.
Fire.
How many's in there?
2.
Take one.
I'm gonna switch you out.
Appreciate you.
But
I like 27s too, so that's perfect.
No, you're good.
You got the
Yeah,
smoke in
Bottega.
here, bro?
I think like what do y'all feel like is like next for not even Bottega, we can get into that later, but like Daniel Lee, like there's obviously we kind of talked about the it was actually your theory, or you read it, that he might go and work under Fidi Fablo's new company.
Yeah.
But do you like just what do you think is next for like him or Bottega in general?
For Bottega, I mean, he got like a solid resume already. So like
Matthew, the new creative director.
the new creative director. So really, I'm not expecting too insane of a change. Like I think they're not gonna hire anybody who's like ill-equipped.
But what do you do at that point? Like, do you keep that same green? Like, do you keep that
Dude, I
Bottega
feel
green?
like-
Do you keep
I
the
feel
rubber?
Like what he's gonna do is he's gonna take more of like his approach that he did for Margiela.
Mm.
Like when he was with Margiela, I think
Yeah.
he'll take more of like
Artisanal.
the artisanal, like try to go super wild with it, you know, which I think is pretty cool actually. I'm like, okay, cool, you know. Like I mean, Bottega's been kind of like that over the years anyway, where it's been like, you know, popping, not popping, popping, not popping. Like Bottega, we've seen this time and time again, and people
Facts.
don't even like realize it. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
I think people are more hip to it now, just
Because
based
they
on
hit a new plateau.
yeah, because of like the internet and shit, puddle boots.
It's really that
whatever.
2020. Like, they're the only luxury fashion brand to gain.
Yeah. But it's
During
like,
the
bro,
pandemic.
even Ye made that shit popular back in the day.
Yeah,
Pharrell
the
made that
duffel.
shit back in the
Remember,
day.
yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
the-
Like people like Bottega's
fucking
been a
with-
thing, and it's gone through that like that ups and downs. So I think like what he's about to do is take it to a whole nother level with like what he was doing with Margiela and just doing more artisanal like pieces.
That would be the good way. That would be the good
Right.
approach.
That's what I hope.
But then you see niggas like Anthony Vasarello or whatever, and like, you know, they don't have none of my like no. I don't know.
For you, I mean,
My
as a
own
fan,
opinion,
it
bro.
has
Yeah.
none of your.
Gets none of my respect personally, bro, because he literally Eddie Slimane sued YSL and won the lawsuit. They had to pay him out like 10 million euro or something like that.
That's actually very nuts.
Because they was using all of his designs.
They was using all his old
of his
designs, and then a lot of the ones that he scrapped.
They
which
didn't
was
change
crazy.
shit. They just was like, oh, they just kept it going.
YSL. This is side. YSL is that under Kering?
It is, I believe so.
I thought it was under something
Or
else.
it's Kering or LVMH.
I would look it up
One of
right
the
here.
It's not
Internet's
LVMH.
fucking-
I know that
That's
for a
That's
fact.
Kering.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Kering. Okay.
I thought it was like 4 big, or maybe I'm just tripping.
It's Kering.
It's 2, right? 2 big companies.
I know two of them.
Kering, LVMH, and then there's like Gucci Group technically.
Okay. I thought it was like 4 of them.
No,
I
there's
guess I
one
was
more
wrong.
that like owns like Cartier and shit.
Yeah, I thought it was 4 of them. I thought it was
Yeah.
like 4 big companies pretty much own the world, and it's
I don't know
like
the fourth now.
them.
But yeah, LVMH is at the top. Of the
Okay.
ladder.
Yeah.
But
You know what you're talking about. I
you're
trust
basically saying like you hope that
yeah,
he doesn't.
I hope he kills it, man. I hope he like, cause it was like, you know, he did all that Margiela or that Margiela, I can't even speak.
'Cause he did the face mask.
Margiela artisanal stuff for like Yeezy during like, you know, the Yeezus,
The
like
tour.
all that stuff, and it was incredible. I thought he killed it, you know, with the mask and like all that stuff. So I don't know. I think like I feel like he could really do something great at Bottega, honestly.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
like when I looked this dude up for the first time when they announced it, because like I'm not gonna lie, like people introduced me to a lot of things, like Bottega. A friend introduced me to Bottega because he started working at Bottega in Vegas, and I was
Right.
like, damn, that shit crazy. And then it happened to blow up. I was like, damn, that shit even crazier. So I'm like, this dude made the mask for Margiela. Like, why didn't we? I feel like I don't know. I didn't know that. Like, why don't most people know that? Like,
I feel like
Bro,
why
but
isn't the
I mean, like, fashion was different back then, though. That's the thing. Like, I feel like it really started to become cool during that time period. Maybe a little bit after that time period. Like, it was like people were into it, but it was very, very niche. Where, like, now, and honestly, I think it's based on Instagram. Honestly, I think, like, if it wasn't for people, like,
There need to be like
yeah, like
included
people
in the new
tagging shit
yeah.
and people being like,
That's
you know what I'm
100%
saying?
what it is.
Because like,
Yeah.
think about how much we all learn. Where it's like, even for myself to this day, like when I do decide to hop on Instagram, I hop on, and you know what I'm saying. Say my friends in something cool or whatever, and it's like I'll either shoot him a DM and be like, "Hey, what is that?" Or be like, or guess what? It'll be tagged right there for me, and it'll be like some shit I never even
Yeah.
knew of. You know what I'm saying? And that's how most people learn.
Right.
That's how most people learn nowadays, anyway, when it comes to like fashion. Anyway, where like back then, like, and that was only like what, 2013? Like, bro, like, yeah, it was just a different time period. Like, people still weren't even on that. I remember getting made fun of. Perfect example of this, of like what I'm talking about. Bro, I was at school one day, and I'll never forget this in my life. Kid was laughing at me or whatever, and he was pointing at me. He like was looking at my shoes or whatever. And he's like, "Man, look at them fake ass Air Forces that fool got on or whatever,"
Rapes.
roasting me, right? Fake ass Air Forces he got on, bro. I had Rick Owens Geo baskets, the milk ones. I had those on like literally 2000 whatever year that was, like 2014. 2014. I was still in school, so yeah, like.
Bro,
And I
no,
didn't
no
say- and I
wonder
didn't
you
say
fit
anything.
that job description.
And it's like,
though.
bro, I didn't
Like,
say anything back to him because I was just like, bro, he's
You
not
don't
gonna
even
know,
know, bro, yeah.
regardless if I explain it or not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I would
Regardless
laugh.
if I explain
I
it,
used to just laugh and be
bro,
like,
I
"Nigga,
literally
you
was
don't
just
know
like,
shit."
hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even tripping.
No, I
whatever.
used to make fun of them niggas back. I used to be like, bro, you literally.
Bro, I
don't know
literally
shit.
like, yeah, it was like crazy. I was like, unless it becomes a problem where it's like somebody physically touches me, bro, like then it's like,
Just
I'm
talk.
Nah,
Yeah, I just let shit slide, bro. I'm like, I'm calm, cool, and collected. I'm just
You
like,
ain't
hey,
tripping off that shit.
it is what it is. Like, I'm like, even if I explain it to him, it's not even gonna matter. So that's what I'm explaining to you, bro. That was the same time period. So it's like, that's
Right.
just what it was. It wasn't what it is now. Like, now it's like, we have all of it in our face constantly. That it's just like, bro, like, it is what it is. Like, you walk down the street now in Phoenix, like, I'm sure y'all remember, like, even sneakers and sneaker culture and, like, stuff like that. Okay, as soon as I moved here, it's like, bro, I can see every Off-White shoe in a day. here.
Yeah.
Like, and in Colorado and in wherever the fuck I can be.
Right.
Because that's the biggest thing. Where, like, beforehand, it wasn't like that, bro. Like, it was not like that. Back in those times, if your fives would have came out back then, per se, bro, your fives would have been popular amongst, like, that niche crowd, but not, like,
Around the
worldwide.
world. Right.
Where, like, now it's like, oh, you got, you know, the viral video of the nigga like these Kiwi Bottegas.
Right.
Now everybody like, oh shit, Arizona got a Bottega store in the mall. We about to go get
It's
the
lit.
Kiwi Bottegas.
Bro,
you know what I'm saying?
This is a random example. I got into a car accident.
I'm so bad, bro. I gotta go piss again. I'm so bad.
I gotta run in a minute too, but I'm keeping it together.
I
I can smoke in here or no?
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
I got into a random car accident, like in the middle of nowhere. And I had to wait for AAA, so I was like, you know, they was gonna take a minute, so I just went to like the nearest little I just went to like the nearest Burger King that was like, you know, across
Did you
the
get the
street from
Impossible
where
Burger?
it was. Huh?
Did you get the Impossible Burger?
Nah,
That shit actually hits though.
I never had an Impossible Burger yet.
Sure.
But nah, I was wearing a box logo, like, and I remember the nigga at just this random Burger King in the middle of nowhere in Phoenix was like, sick box logo, like, you know. And it's just like, you know, that never would have happened, like,
No.
for, you know, it's just so, like, synonymous, like, it's so well recognized now. It's so, like,
Bro,
synonymous with
I
just,
had
like,
a friend,
you know.
I still have a friend, my buddy Chris, back home, bro. It was crazy. It was like, we were all into all that shit, and, like, didn't necessarily like have the money when we were in college or whatever. And I remember Chris figured out auctions, like overseas auctions and shit. And I'm talking about like early on.
The Japanese shit.
And so Chris would be like, bro, we can get the Vism for the low, we can get the double taps for the low, we can get.
Yeah, the Japanese.
I'm talking about bounty hunter for the low, we can get everything for the low.
Y'all was lit.
So, bro, I'm talking about. When I say Chris knew about 30 of them, bro, this man knew about so many of these that it was like, I was like, bro, what the fuck? And so, like, we'd be looking at shit or whatever. He'd be like, yeah, you just, like, you put it in, blah, 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 like, whatever. It's easier if we get this many things in a box, like, whatever. Like, that's how people run, like, archive pages and shit. Niggas be getting shit for the low, bro. Niggas do not be spending like crazy bread.
Right.
But I remember back then, like, it was crazy because it was like we would get those pieces in whatever, and it was like it was rare. It was few and far between if you like knew somebody that even remotely knew. And this was like like 2014. This was like, bro, even then 2013, 2014, it was rare if you knew somebody that was like remotely into any of that shit. Like any of that shit back then. Like it was way different.
I mean, I just feel like that shit, like at the time, kind of like to even originally go back to your question with the Mason Margiela, like, wow, how come you didn't know? Like all this like fashion shit is really not like so much pushing to our face, like especially during that time. Like this time, it's like it's definitely pushing to
Definitely
our face.
not behind the scenes either. Like
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
that,
Like to who like
where.
made that and like who
that's-
did that.
that's
You
what
had to
Just
really
know the
get on
surface, yeah.
the fucking internet and really like, I want to know who made that. You know what I'm saying?
Like
It's an ocean of shit. You know, niggas know the surface, but
What you
I
gotta
was
say?
gonna say like when I say like introduce, the reason I like some of Virgil's shit, the shit that he says, like purists and tourists, I kind of like I associate with a tourist. Like this is the avenue that I like when I was younger and I seen it growing up, and I seen shit on certain people, and my parents got me into certain things, family members, friends, or whatever. So I knew about it, but I'm like, oh, I know that's Margiela. Like that nigga makes cold ass masks, like super
I have the
like
same
distressed,
thing, yeah.
like. But I don't know like the designers behind. I didn't know like designers behind the scene, and like I started learning that through like certain like blogs through the internet, like the fashion romance stuff like that. But it's like, so I was basically asking you that point, and you did explain it. That's why I was like, yeah, that makes sense, because it's
Yeah.
like it's so in your face now. Like
It's just different.
oh, like
time,
you can
yeah.
just you just go on the internet, nigga. Like I go on the internet, I see through education, like it just pops up. Like at this
But
point,
even
it's
now,
like,
it's pretty niche
you know
even
how,
now.
Like I don't know. Like I guess they're like old heads that like I meet and stuff that are like so against that, but I kind of like fuck with it. You know what I
guess
mean?
what?
I kind of think it's pretty cool that it's like it is becoming such a like a normalized thing.
Oh yeah.
Based on the fact that like I don't know, like I remember when it wasn't cool. I remember when it was like you couldn't do feminine things as a male, or like You know, just like all these different things. Like it was like, okay, like there was a bar that was set that you had to be this way. So if you weren't this way,
You're
like,
fucking
you know what I'm
weird.
saying? It was like
Right.
you're a fucking weirdo. Like I remember even skateboarding, dude. Like when I first started skateboarding, like it was crazy. It was like me being a black skateboarder, bro. 2008, 2009. Like,
Not
oh no, bro. Like I used to fight all the time. We used to fight all the time.
Who was the
Fashion
biggest?
shit, skateboarder shit, all that shit.
The
We
biggest
used to
black
scrap.
skater was like what? Terry Kennedy at
Terry
the time,
Kennedy,
right?
but then it was like
And
one of those
Antoine
things
Dixon.
where it was like
Yeah.
Shout out to Antoine Dixon.
Shout out Antoine.
Hopefully he's doing okay. But yeah, it was just like people like that where it was like they were big, but it was like at the same time people were still like, you know, like I was from Colorado, like people being like, oh, that's that weird shit, you on this white boy shit, blasey blah, like, you know, like just typical shit, just hating shit.
Right.
You know what I'm
They
saying?
don't
And was
understand it.
like-
That's what it is.
they didn't understand it, but then it's like now it's like people want to be like that, which is like which I don't mind. I'm like, okay, cool. Like as long as like the younger generations underneath me don't have to like suffer through like pretty much like what I went through, then it's like I'm fine with
Hey,
that,
I'm
bro.
gonna say one. I
You
said
know
I
what I'm
applaud
saying?
you on that, like real shit, because like during high school and shit like that, like when I try to get into shit, niggas got bullied. I kind of like
You know what I'm
You
saying?
stepped-
shied
you stepped away
I was
from
like,
it?
yeah, fuck that shit. You know, like I'm
Marco,
not trying to have
like-
it. But I'm like coming full self. Like you definitely want to get back into what you like and what
Yeah,
you're into, because like
bro.
I
And
don't know, it's like-
imagine for my little
You better
ass,
do
bro.
things for yourself. You can't do it for other people.
Exactly. And imagine for my little ass, bro. Like, luckily, Marco, you big. Like, I'm
I wasn't- I
130
wasn't this- I
pounds.
wasn't like
You know what I'm saying? I'm 130
I wasn't
pounds,
always
5'6".
this big.
I'm the tallest I've ever been in my life right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, niggas was on my head, bro. What
Yeah.
you doing? Like, why are you doing this and that? I'm like, what? Like, I'm just trying to be me, dog. Like,
Did you get a lot of pushback from like even your cousins and shit, or were they like cool?
Oh, dude.
That was usually
Some
like
of
the
them-
biggest, right?
No, some of them are cool. Like my first cousin Sam, he's always like, it's crazy. It's like his life is completely opposite of mine, but he was always like, yo, do what you want. Like, I appreciate that you're different and you just do what you're into. And like, he was telling me, it was crazy. Like, around this time last year, like me and him, meeting up at my aunt's house, like during COVID and shit. And he was just like, yo, I appreciate that. Like, and it was the first time he'd ever told me that. He was like, yo, I appreciate that, like, you and your friends, like, do shit way different than, like, what we do. And he was like, I have an appreciation for it because he's like, it makes me think, like, okay, I could do things, like, different if I ever wanted to switch it up or, like,
That sounds like
whatever.
a real
And I
nigga. That
was
sounds like
yo,
somebody who thinks
dude,
for himself.
He's so, like, he's always been like that. I've always told people, especially people who get a chance to meet him, I'm like, he's easily the smartest person I've ever met in my life. Like, and it's just like, his life is just different based on, like,
Circumstances.
circumstances, but, like, at the same time, like, literally brilliant. Like, brilliant.
Cold.
Brilliant. So, I'm so glad I've had people like that around me in my
Right.
life, you know, and then, like, people like y'all selves where it's like, we can all find, like, a common ground based on cool shit. So,
It's a fact.
yeah.
that's the issue.
We could talk about the Hacker Project, the Gucci Balenciaga collab. I feel like we've all been seeing it on our feeds, just kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Past couple of days. It was actually previewed back in April at the Gucci Aura show.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I think it's pretty dope. Like there's not necessarily no pieces that I'm like, damn, I wish I had that or anything like that. But I like the concept on it. Like they're just hacking each other's brand. And I don't know, just using both houses to basically showcase almost like the other person's stuff. It's kind of like blatantly in your face, so that's kind of funny and cool too.
I like it more than seeing something like Tiffany Supreme.
You didn't like the
honest.
Tiffany and Supreme shit?
I just, you know,
My bad, you gotta go.
it's just, I don't know, at a certain point, bro, it's like, you know, when are y'all going to design to, like, create for the purpose of creating as opposed to, like, designing for the purpose of just, like, you know, revenue?
Okay, and like what, just building the brand, and you're cool off that.
I mean, Tiffany is trying, obviously, they're desperately trying to, like, you know, revive themselves. It's like, I don't know. It's like if I don't know. It's like if fucking
You feel like it's like their last hope. Like they're like, oh,
who's that one nigga, Harrison Ford? It's like if Harrison Ford started dating like I don't know, like some young like
Some young
Emily
poppin'.
Ratajkowski or some shit, right? You'd be like, bro, this nigga just like,
Right.
don't make sense. Why? Like, it's just there's no brand compatibility. It's just like this desperation for y'all to be relevant.
But you feel like the Gucci and Balenciaga one makes sense to
It
me.
makes more sense. I didn't like the designs from it, but it makes more sense that two brands who's in the same lane would basically, it's almost dating in a certain way, right? So it's like y'all kind of gotta there has to be some basic compatible like factors between both brands for it to make any sense to a consumer, right? And if it's not, then it's just like it's a desperate cry for attention, money, relevance.
I guess like what I find interesting is that I guess I've just never seen it done to this degree yet. You know what I mean? Like I guess you like see, I guess in the past like you see brands where it's like they do collabs or whatever, and it's like, I don't know, it's just different than this. I guess it has like more of like a, I don't even know how to explain it really. Like I don't know, the Gucci Balenciaga stuff for me is like, I get it. It's like two brands that are like he was saying, like very very similar. So it's like, why not like do a collab?
Right.
So it's like very interesting, but like I guess like brands in the past, it's like it's just felt different. I guess like it felt more
Authentic, maybe.
authentic. Yeah, I guess that's like what I'm trying to say.
I can
Yeah.
see that. You're not capturing that same feeling with the Gucci Balenciaga, hands down.
No.
It's so like, I don't know, like even like just looking at some of this shit, like I'm
Right,
just
some of the
like-
pieces.
like even some of the pieces, I'm just kind of like it doesn't. I don't know. It's interesting. It doesn't make me.
I wish
feel-
I would've put some
I'll put it this
accessories.
way, like even like for myself, like as like a collector myself, it doesn't make me feel anything. It doesn't
Right.
make me feel like I need it. It doesn't make me feel like I like hate it. It doesn't make me feel really anything. Like it's just kind of like it's just there. It's like, oh, okay, here's a collab. You know?
Right. Put two big names and like that's what it is.
Yeah, and I know people are gonna go crazy over it. Like it's gonna sell for sure.
Right.
But like, I don't know. Like people are gonna be like, "Oh, I'm in that Gucci Balenciaga piece." You know what I'm saying? Like
You know what?
I'm in
Collab.
that Balenciaga piece. You know what I'm saying? I know
The
you saw that
collab. The
shit
Gucci,
earlier.
the Gucci North Face collab.
I was just gonna
grew.
say that. I like the Gucci North Face.
Did
collab.
you originally like it though? At first, I was like, oh, whatever about like
Dude,
the
I
same
sounded
feeling.
weird.
I
but-
fucked with it, bro.
You fucked with it off top.
Yes, you know why? Because I'm from Colorado, and it reminds me of people in Aspen.
Okay, so you have a personal connection. Like I'm so
It reminds me of
I'm
that,
out here.
bro. People go to Aspen, fly into Aspen. It's all like ritzy and shit, but it's like you still on the mountain. You still gotta
You
do.
still
you know,
gotta,
you
like-
still going skiing. You
Yeah, that's
still like,
interesting.
you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
for me, I was just like, yo, I was
kinda hard.
like, that's hard. Like I fuck
Okay.
with that.
That's
You get what I
fine.
mean though? Like,
No, I get exactly what you mean.
It's
'cause you've seen
similar.
it.
It's similar to like when brands collab. Like for North Face, it's similar to when brands will collab with Doc Martin because it's like we could either make an army boot or we could just go with the original niggas who's known for doing this. The original niggas who's known for doing like the down jackets is North Face. So it's like y'all could either make your own down jacket or you could collab with like the OG of it. You know, they've never tampered with the brand or tried to go to any different lanes. They're not trying to do streetwear. They're not trying to do none of, they make down jackets.
Right.
That's how it's always been. Just like Doc Martin, right? They make like army boots. That's what they're known for. That's what they still do till this day. The brand hasn't really changed too much. So when you do a collab like that, I feel like it's a lot more authentic than when niggas will do a collab with like, a constantly changing brand like, Supreme, for example, that's all over the place. Do
Yeah,
all
it's
kind
pretty
I
of
almost feel like what it is for me is that like there's no like juxtaposition between the two companies, so it's like it doesn't make it interesting. And the reason why I say that is because like you're saying with the Doc Martens, it's like at least it's still like different enough where it's like it's similar but it's still different. Like it's like when you think about like the roots of like Doc Martin and then like but they do a Rick Owens one or they do a Raph one or they like whatever, it's like they're still like different enough like when it comes to like heritage of the brands that it's like it makes this crazy thing. Or it makes me think about like something that I was actually trying to get recently was have you ever seen those undercover Hermes bags?
No, I haven't.
So like go and look those up, but like undercover like for I think it was like for their scab collection or something like that, like did these Hermes like runway bags, right? But like the undercover way. So it's
Yeah.
like fully like grunged out, like
Yeah.
fucking.
Did they
you know what I'm
collab
saying?
with Hermes for it
No,
though, or they
and it
just
was
got
just
a bunch?
like,
Yeah,
June, like the owner was just like, "Yo, this is like that."
I
And
like
it's
that. Yeah, that's
and it
cool.
was fire.
Yeah, it's like an unofficial
spikes
collab.
unofficial collab, like spikes all over it, like crazy shit.
Yeah.
Or like when Louis Vuitton and Capital did a collab.
Whoa, I didn't know
That's the
about this
thing.
either.
Do you think
Louis Vuitton and Visvim did a collab. That's the thing.
Mm.
Like, and like unofficial, but it was like by Hiroki or like by, you know, whoever. And
What years were these two collabs?
which ones you
At
talking
least
about?
like the Louis Vuitton Capital.
I think Louis Vuitton was like 14. Let me see. I'll show you.
Okay.
I think I like unofficial
I
collabs
just
more
found out
than
about that recently.
official.
What,
ones.
Capital and Louis Vuitton?
Yeah.
With those burrow stitchings and all that.
Yeah, with the burrow stitching. Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, do you think there's like rules to this shit? That's like the one question.
I mean, I
No,
guess
there's not.
Yeah, no, not really.
But
I
at
mean,
the
like,
same
it's just
time,
like people will have opinions. Like,
you're
my
gonna get
opinion's
opinions.
not
Yeah.
all that valid. Like, it's like, who am I?
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not gonna stop a company from doing it.
Or
You know?
making money off
What
it.
what kind of rules do you see, Marco, that you kind of like that makes you question that? Like, what makes you like say like, damn? Because I feel
Hard.
what you're saying.
So hard.
What's up?
Well, this bitch is hard.
It's fuck, right?
Yeah, no, that shit is super
Hard, right?
And the whole fit too. Like the whole
He
fit is
went
just
off.
bro. Damn.
Went off.
Can you actually like send that to me right now?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I can throw it in the thing.
Yeah, for sure. So like all the people can see it. Yeah. For sure. And then it was crazy. So like I had a boy who used to work for Louis Vuitton. He was like an accessories designer. And so he was the one that was like really put me on game about like I think he put me on game about that one.
Okay.
And then he was like, "Oh, look at these Visvim like Louis Vuitton whatever's or like bro, there was like a few other companies too that were just like in the mix that I was like, what? And he was just
Okay.
like, while Kim Jones was there. And I was just like, what the fuck? And he's like, but you would never know this because he's like, it for the public, like it's not anything you could look up. Now it is, but like beforehand it wasn't like, he was like, oh, this is this or like this is that.
Do you
like,
feel
we're
like
working with these people?
Back
So on
then,
and so
like
forth.
the brands were taking more of like a kind of like an artistic approach. Like I mean, they're doing collabs with like Capital and shit like that. Like way before, you know, it's obviously like popping now. And now, like you look at Louis Vuitton, they're hiring like Virgil, who has tons of star power and stuff. You know, and like people can say that that's like for the clout or whatever. You know, people can like twist that narrative. But do you feel like back then, even like 2014? These big fashion houses were still much into like the art itself versus now, or do you feel like it's just spun different because of
I think it just depends on the person, honestly. I think it depends on like
It's a
who
tricky
is doing
question.
the creative direction and like stuff like that because I think it really depends on the person. Like I think like Virgil is a pretty like interesting character himself because it's like he, you know, he's from Chicago, he's a skateboarder, he like, you know, he's designing stuff where like now he's in this power where it's like I feel like at the end of the day he's just like making shit that he would want to see like from these companies and like obviously like that's just what it is where like somebody like you see it kind of with Kim Jones too where it's like okay you could tell Kim Jones was like a big streetwear guy. You could tell he was like there during like hype beast like forum type days, you know what I mean? So like it's like oh all of a sudden it was like, you know, when he was with LV it was like a LV Supreme collab because obviously he likes Supreme.
Right.
He's from that time period.
Cause of Dior.
Kaz and Dior, he's from that time period. Stussy,
Yeah.
Dior, he's from that time period. Like where that was popular. Like I wouldn't even be surprised if eventually, like if Kim Jones being at Dior, like was like, oh, we gonna do a hundreds collab, I wouldn't be surprised because he was from that time, like
he
where
just-
all that was.
He's coming off
popular.
that
So it's
Travis
like
one, too.
it just, you know what I'm saying, and so like it just depends. It just
Right.
really depends. Like that Travis Scott, Dior, George Condo shit, that all makes sense. Like to me in my mind, like because it's like that's what he's into, or like that's what they're all are into together. Like you know what I mean. So it's like I get it. Like it's like that makes sense. Am I gonna necessarily like buy into it? I don't know, but like
Right.
it in my mind, I'm like for that person, I always try to like wear their shoes. I'm like okay, that I guess that makes sense for them. You know what I mean?
Sometimes you put the shoe on though, and you be like, "I'm not just about money." Like you know,
Yeah,
this ain't about shit
Sometimes.
but money. Yeah.
yeah. Sometimes depends on the person, for sure.
well,
I mean,
shit.
back in the day, bro, like a million brands had opportunities to collab, and you're not seeing it until this new age of the internet and this new age of fashion. So obviously,
I think you're right. End of the day, it's money.
Yeah, there's a
It's
bigger money incentive
sure.
behind a lot of this.
Especially because I feel like, do you feel like now? So I'll ask all of you this actually. Do you feel like now these companies are making way more money than they did before?
I think
Yeah,
hands
definitely.
down, bro.
Like you were
That's something
saying,
we can like look up, right? I mean, it's like it's kind of like
I
a
think
fact.
hands down.
But just off the top of your brain, what do you think?
Hands
Yeah,
down.
I mean,
bro.
I think fashion is just bigger in
Like-
general now than ever before.
Agreed.
So I think like that plays a huge role, and I think that I mean, you're just seeing these companies like a lot of these companies are like taking the first approach on things. Like we've seen like how we talk about the metaverse, like the Nike, the Balenciagas, like that are they have enough money and enough backing to almost like stay relevant and to keep pushing forward. So I think that they do have more money and they keep it pushing.
And that's the thing about a collab too, is you get so much instant exposure and like, you know,
It's the easiest.
You're being posted on like every, you know, fashion article. You're getting articles written up about your shit instantly just by doing a collab. Which if you were to just do a collection solo, maybe you wouldn't have got half of them write-ups.
That's
So it's a
fact.
very easy way to kind of just like, if you do a collab with another brand, you're gonna get written up about left and right. Like it's a very, very,
fact.
very easy marketing play.
Right. I feel that.
That's a fact.
I mean, shit, it's getting pretty late. We're almost at like 1 o'clock in the morning. Do you guys have any last little things y'all want to say before we go and end it off? I appreciate you first off
thank
for
you guys
coming.
For having me.
Man,
yeah,
thank you
man.
for coming.
Yeah, this was awesome. I loved it. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, I got I rented a lens, like a nice lens. So I've been like
From Tempe camera.
So I've been kind of shooting with it, and I kept it an extra day than I actually intended to have it. And like I hit up my homie who makes music. I'm like, let me shoot a music video for you. So like I'm just trying to get more into this, like, you know,
Tight. So you're trying things.
things.
Well, I feel like
Which I implore
I
everybody.
think as much as you
to
care
do.
about film too, I think you would be good at that.
Man,
That's
he's
awesome.
always
It's
talking about
it's
film.
my end goal, you know. It's my
Yeah,
end
really.
goal,
That's
yeah.
awesome. That's incredible, man.
Yeah.
Keep going for real.
But you got to practice to get good at it. So
That's a fact.
Right.
That's a fact. Anything you do in life, gotta practice to get good at it.
Man,
I
again,
appreciate you.
appreciate all y'all coming up, pulling up.
Yeah, thank you guys for having
Boy.
me again. I appreciate it.
Thank you. We
This has
out
been
Locked In
awesome.
Podcast.
Hey.
Gang.